Alright, fire away.
Okay, where last we left off, after having rescued uh, Volo's friend from the Xanathar Guild hideout within the sewers of Waterdeep, Volo rewarded you not with a gold reward, but instead with Trollskull Manor, an old manor within Trollskull Alley in northern Waterdeep. You found the manor to be an abandoned, it appeared to be some sort of tavern, but it was otherwise well kept, despite some of the dust and debris that kind of spawned around the tavern itself. You took some time to visit the area, meet some of your compatriots within your neighbors, if you will, within the area, who told you that the tavern used to be owned by a half-elven man named Liff, who loved running it, but died a couple of years ago when the property fell into Voldo's hands. You have also learned that there is another bar within the area that is being run by one Emic Froon, who apparently sought to buy this tavern off of Volo at one point, but never did, instead getting a smaller building within the area. While you were getting yourself situated, Raynor Neverember came to visit and mentioned he was getting in touch with some contact to see if you could get more work for you in order to give yourself some spending money in order to renovate the place. While you were looking around, a flying snake descended down upon Julie and presented him with a note promising big things if you met at the wait, it's been a long week, at the yawning portal. Met his contact at the yawning portal. You went to the yawning portal. You met, or you ran back into Yagra, the half-orc woman who you helped in the bar brawl, and she was next to a dandy-looking elf. Uh, dandy-looking elf named Davil Starsong. They introduced themselves as members of a particular Zentarum branch that sought to stop the violence in the city and provided you with a job offering to pay you 50 gold each if you were to find out who was killing elven and half-elven sailors in the dock ward. He told you 3 had been dead so far, and every one of them had been decapitated by a blade in the dead of night. You took some time to return home to rest up a little bit, to get a few more things situated, and while there, rotund within the tap room of the tavern within the manor, you saw a message scribbled within the dust that said, um, last call. Upon looking at this and getting a sneaking suspicion, you used your channel divinity Eyes of the Grave in order to see if you could see any undead creatures within the nearby area, and in fact you did. Standing in front of you now is this spectral form with wild hair that begins to kind of just eke within the ethereal plane. It's got a twisted face, and it just kind of looks at you and has this strange ethereal light. It does not move to attack you, but you get the sense that it's generally unhappy.
Huh. Okay. Uh, Oi, what you doing here? I attempt to communicate.
No response. It circles around you. This thing circles around you a little bit, floating in the air above you.
That's what the specters in Indiana Jones did before they melted everyone's face off.
Hey, Kelly, is there ale up here?
There's no ale up there, but there are empty tankards that are just kind of left haphazardly on the bar.
I'm gonna pick up a tankard and be like, last call, you want one more? And hold up the tankard. See if I get a reaction.
As you do this, bits of the shards of remaining tankards, as well as some random splinters that are hanging around the bar, begin to kind of float up on their own.
Am I still holding the one I have?
Yes.
I'm gonna, like, I'm going to try to run them through the air, or run the tankard through the air and pick up the other shards inside the tankard.
Okay, just try to collect all the shards that are floating in the air within the tankard you're holding.
Yeah.
Okay. Make a strength saving throw.
Sure.
Okay. You feel like there's this force that is trying to rip the tankard out of your hand, but you hold onto it pretty steadily. You hardly even notice it as you grasp up a number of the shards and just kind of collect them within the cup.
This is mine. You can't have it. I don't know what you're so pissed off about, but I'm willing to get to the bottom of it with you.
Make a
Like,
persuasion check.
okay, gotcha.
The splinters that are the little bits of tankards and whatever that are floating up in the air, all of a sudden just kind of drop. And you watch as the specter briefly dematerializes and then rematerializes over towards your north near some fallen down stools. The stools begin to right themselves on their own and push themselves up against the table. The table begins to keep right up on its own and kind of clean up on its own and just get all situated by itself.
I'm going to walk over, being non-threatening, and I'm going to
Mhm.
say, perhaps you and I should have a talk. And I'm going to sit down at one of the stools and see if it does the same.
It kind of blinks in and out of existence, hovering over one. It doesn't sit. It just kind of floats in the air.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be like, you wouldn't have happened to have known the former owner, Liff, would you?
Upon mentioning the name, you see as the light within this character begins to glow into a brief darker color and then light back up again.
So, not a fan of Liff?
It
Mm,
takes one of its ghostly fingers, and in the dust on the table that still remains, it writes the name Liff on the table.
well, I'm going to assume that you are Liff then. What? You haven't been able to move on? You've been stuck here for how long now?
No response.
Hmm. Would you like to see this place turned back into a watering hole again?
The color within it begins to light up a little bit. You see as he begins to shift out of phase and rematerialize back over by the broken stools. Some of the shards begin to kind of coalesce in on their own. The bar stools that are in and of themselves not shattered on the ground begin to kind of pick up and push themselves against the bar.
Well, Liff, my friend, I can't tell everything that you want to have done, but I'll make you a deal. We don't have a lot of money to start out right now, but if you want us to open this place back up as a bar, it was certainly one of our intentions to do so. We don't have a lot of gold. We could use the help around here if you'd be willing to hang out and, you know, clean up a bit. I don't know what we could pay you, but certainly it would be, you know, something for you to do.
Make a persuasion check.
This might not go well.
As you say this to this spectral face, you watch as the twisted, sort of angry shape of its face begins to kind of dim And instead of this angry, glowing, white-haired, frizzled creature that shifts before you, it begins to kind of die down a little bit, appearing not as this angry specter, but as a more translucent-looking ghost that appears to be that of a half-elven man, quite old. But it looks at you and he just smiles.
Well, I'm glad we got that worked out. I have a toast with you, but as you can see, we're out of alcohol right now.
The ghost nods.
All right. I'm going I'm going to shout, "Hey guys! I want you to meet someone."
As you shout this, the ghost will kind of shift back and will dematerialize.
Well, son of a
I'll
bitch.
stroll downstairs. Someone at the door?
Did he yell loud enough that we could hear him on the 3rd floor? We're 2 floors above him.
Make a perception check, both of you.
Same for those in the basement.
You guys are close enough that you can hear him.
All right, Julie comes up.
Yeah, you both hear him.
Julie goes, "Who see?"
I'm going to turn around and be like, "Hey, I want you to meet Liff here. He was the former... where the fuck did he go?"
All of you see no one except Rotund standing in the middle of the tap room. You do notice the tap room looks like it's been cleaned up a little bit.
I'll look at Rotan and I'll see he has a tankard in his hand. I'll be like, "Drank a little too much, did you?"
There was nothing in here.
And I'll look around and I'll say, "Yeah, there's nothing in here. There's nobody in here but you and us."
Listen, you fancy elf. There was a ghost here. I had a talk with it. It was the former owner. I swear to you.
Are you sure you were not passed out and dreamt this? The
Sounds
former
like
owner
something
is
he'd
dead.
do.
I can think of someone who's gonna be passed out if you keep it up.
Dwarf silly.
Oh, I don't expect you to believe me, you big bastard.
I'll just kind of look around and like, I don't know what to do with these dwarfs, and kind of walk around, see what, and admire the fact that he actually cleaned, because I didn't think dwarfs ever cleaned.
Yeah, I was just trying to say I'm gonna admire the fact that he just pushed all the tables or pushed all the chairs up to this table.
Hey, Liff, if you can hear me, steal some of the elf shit tonight. Not
No
lying.
response.
I'm not lying. He was here. But he did have a request. He wanted us to turn. He wanted to be happy again. He wanted to see this place turn back into a tavern.
Were we not gonna do that?
I don't know what you were gonna do.
I thought the intention was to make this place a bar again.
Well, people have different intentions sometimes, but that's what I wanted to do.
Well, I say, first things first, if we're really gonna make this place a bar, perhaps hire some hands or get working on picking all this crap up.
I'll look around and say, "Well, it looks like the dwarf was doing a pretty good job down here," and I'm gonna go back upstairs.
Okay.
Son of a bitch. What? Wasn't drinking.
And at least we could probably just, clean out this floor right here, at least attract some people, get some alcohol, let the taps flow. Maybe hire a chef?
Well, however you want to do it, but I think we need to get some gold up first.
Oh, we do have a job to do.
True enough, true enough. Gotta go back to what you were doing.
I'll head back upstairs.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go have a seat over by the table.
Okay.
Go back to my wine cellar, noticing the drunk dwarf seeing things again.
All right. You retreat back. You drink. All of you kind of retreat back into your respective rooms, doing perhaps some prep work.
I'm cleaning up all this knocked over shit in my room, seeing if the bed's still comfortable.
The bed, although aged upon cleaning it up, it looks like the mattress is still good. It's pretty comfortable.
Julie's gonna search actually the entire manor looking for a can of something like red paint.
Okay,
He needs
go
red
ahead.
paint.
Sure. Go ahead and make an investigation check. You look, you look, you look, you can't find it.
Uh,
All right, what are you guys doing?
well, what time of day is it?
Right now, it's kind of around dinner time. Again, you were told regarding at least the job that it was elven and half-elven sailors in the dock ward killed in the dead of night.
So we have to wait the nighttime to go venture out for that.
And
So-
they were just killed on the street or in alleys and stuff. They were just bodies found with no head.
As far as you've been told.
And
Ah.
is the city guard, which I guess is as sophisticated as I've seen in a fantasy setting, are they investigating this?
You don't know.
All right. Well, I mean, Julie thinks that we need to know what they know. So, didn't one of them? You guys have a conversation with one of them?
You had a very brief conversation with some guards who had detained a couple of individuals who got caught in the middle of some sort of gang war that caused a few folks to die. You saw this briefly upon making your way to the bar to investigate Blagmar's disappearance.
All right. Julie will go outside
Mhm.
and look around for city guard.
Taking a couple
Just
of minutes.
walk north up the alley to the main street and look around.
Okay. Walking out to the main street and kind of peering around. At this time of day, there's a few folks who are wandering here, there, and everywhere. Both nobles and commoners. There's a couple of folks from the Dung Sweepers Guild who are sweeping filth off of the streets, collecting it in buckets and preparing to deal with the overall filth. Eventually, after looking around a little bit, you do see walking down the street is a contingent of a couple of city guards who are in the middle of chatting with one another.
Julie will walk right up to them and say, "Hey, you, we talk."
Simple man, isn't he? Oh, yes, I can see. Yes, sir. How can we aid you?
Uh, dead elves, half elves,
Where?
found near port.
Right now?
Heard stories. Julie says,
Oh, that.
"You
Yes, we've
know."
heard of.
He says, "You know."
Yeah, we've gotten the report. We've got investigations looking into it. Don't worry. The city guard will eventually find the culprit.
Who investigations?
He says,
Julie need talk with investigations.
he says,
Julie knows stuff.
upon saying that, they look at each other and go, "What do you know?"
Me talk to investigations, not you.
Make a persuasion check.
Really took that high charisma for granted, didn't I?
They kind of look at each other, they look back at you, and they'll go, How about this, big fellow? We can escort you, or you can simply tell us and we can pass on the information in your stead. We don't want you getting hurt now, do we?
Says, good. Says, wait here. And Julie goes back to the tavern or to the manor.
Okay.
Says,
They will follow you and
oh,
reach
good.
outside the front door.
All right. So Julie just says, "Wait here," and I'll go back inside and, assuming Rotund is still in the. Well, actually, no, because you don't go into the tap room. You go into the first floor, right? I think is that right? And whoever he finds first, he'll just explain. He's got guards out there who can take us to whoever's investigating these murders, so we can prepare for tonight.
Okay. You probably tell this to Rotund.
In Julie speak.
Okay.
It's hard to talk like that all the time.
So Rotund, you're in the middle of, I don't know, nursing an empty tankard, whatever, at the bar, trying to think. And Julie comes back saying he's got some guards out front.
Lad, why do you have the guards out front?
They know about dead elves. We ask about dead elves.
Um, Julie, have a seat for a moment. I'm gonna just kind of peek out, and can I see the guys standing out front?
Yep.
They're not within earshot though, right?
They're right now waiting out at the front door, kind of peering
Well,
inside.
But the tap room's below ground level, is it not?
No, the tap room is on ground level.
Your
But the
bedroom's
entrance-
underground level.
Can you go back to the maps of the manor? Because I'm a little confused. It looks like the entrance is on the second floor into the common room, and you go into the hall and down the steps, and you're in the tap room.
The entrance
I don't
to
see.
the manor's right there.
I-
Or right there, even, in fact.
oh, all right. I must have missed that. Okay, never mind. All right. So the guards are here.
Yeah,
Right.
they're kind of waiting right
All
around that area.
All right. So Julie's sitting down and waiting for Rotund to explain to him why something as sensible as just finding out what we need to know is the bad idea.
Laddie, listen. I don't know if you. I know you're not that bright, and I don't mean to say that in a horrible way, but you aren't. Um, we were given a job by a less than scrupulous fashion or faction to find out, what is happening to the elves. It probably doesn't seem like a great idea to tell the constabulary about what we're doing.
What
You hear a voice from outside.
what
Are you
what's-
coming back out?
What's spoopulous mean?
Be right with you. Um, I'm going.
Did we just hear Rotund yell at
Um,
on the third floor? Because he was
Make
yelling
sure-
at the guards.
make another perception check.
I hope to God one of you did.
Yeah, you heard him. You did. That was performance, not perception. Roll perception.
Oh
Sorry.
shit! Can't. Oh, one look. Ah shit!
There's your card for the night.
You
You're
mean
right. I'll
one
have,
of
like,
the
5
8
more.
that he's going to have?
I come upstairs after hearing Rotund yell.
Okay.
What in the blast thing are you yelling about now?
Wait, what is real quick? Crowd, what's your character's name?
Trevarin.
Trevarin. This rather large child here decided to go tell the constables that he needed information about the murders. And if I have to explain to you why that's probably not a good idea, then
I'll
we're-
look at Droloff as like, wasn't he your responsibility to keep an eye on?
Nope.
What does spoopulous mean?
I'll tell you later. Somebody go deal with these guys.
I'll
Hello?
come over. Hello.
We were given information about possible whereabouts or possible information regarding the death of a few elven and half-elven sailors. An individual in there?
Uh,
I'm gonna walk up behind him. Be
At
like,
this point, there's 2 more guards with them.
I mean, we've heard the stories. We're new in town, and because I'm an elf, someone has warned me that my kind has been hunted. But I don't know if we have actual information about what's going on.
Make a deception check.
From behind him, Julie goes, "Sorry, we're spoopulous."
uh, I'll just kind of jump in like, I'm sorry to have wasted your times, lads. This big dumb fella here, his IQ's on the level of a space hamster.
I've heard of those. Giant miniature one? Yeah, that's the one. Shoot, where's my stat block?
He got away from his handler earlier. Sorry.
Poor Julie.
No
Jesus.
kidding. All right, let's see. 0. They say, all the same, we'd like a moment to talk. Open the door, please.
Sure.
I will step forward, and I will pull down my hood so they actually see, like, pretty obviously of what I am. I'll be like, sorry, excuse my friends here. We're actually from Tethir. We actually traveling through the country to, spread the word of Tethir and hopefully, bring some more people into our
Travelers?
culture.
What are you doing in
Yes.
this manner?
We're simply missionaries.
Make a deception check.
God damn it. Yes!
Missionary types? Tethir. Yeah, I've heard about him.
He's new. We actually just brought him in, so he's been, wandering around town, hearing a lot of things he probably shouldn't be hearing. Excuse him. I'm sorry about that.
Look at the boy, lads. Does there seem like there's an ounce of intelligence in him?
Julie just gives like
Probably lost in the church.
Julie just gives a big tooth grin and waves.
God.
Well, we ask you to stay out of trouble of the city guard. Please leave us to handle any business.
Will do, sir. I'm sorry again.
Good day.
So I
Keep blood
apologize
off the
for
streets.
interference, and I bow and return back.
They kind of turn their backs, maneuvering their way. The 2 in front, who Julie beckoned at first, turn a curious eye over their heads, keeping one long, close glance at UK before they walk on.
And I will slowly shut the door as their gaze goes away.
As we walk back over here, I'm gonna motion Drayloff over as well. I'm gonna be like, listen, you share a room with him. Don't let him be unattended.
Julie's just trying to help.
Julie, I appreciate the assistance, but this is not something we should go to the guards about.
They know more than we do.
Yes, but things that the guards do, we shouldn't interfere with because they might think we're criminals, and then, we'll be in a lot of trouble. So that's not going to be a possibility. Especially if we're going to be snooping around a lot of guard business. You see how upset that one guard got with me simply looking at dead bodies on the street?
I'll quickly
So-
pull out that code of
So
legal that I was given earlier in our adventures, and I'll scribble some drawings on it, like comic style, and I'll hand it to Julie. Here.
Shit.
Julie's all happy. He's looking at the pictures. He says,
course he
"Okay."
is.
So, but he says in response to what he was being told about the guard, he says, "So, what we do is secret."
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Only the people that are in this room, or the people we recently met at the bar, are allowed to be talked to about this.
Oh, all right. So Julie acts like he gets it, and he looks kind of like he knows he did something stupid. He's like, "Sorry."
I'll give you a pat on the back and say, it's all right, bud. Everyone has a learning moment.
Yeah, because for the record, he's not dumb. He's just completely like a cultural naif. Like he doesn't understand normal human society.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
That's
All
why
right.
I drew the pictures on the code of legal and I handed it to him. Here, please
Wait.
study this,
Yes, no,
and things will make more
he'll
sense.
go. This is complicated.
Julie,
Well,
I,
my tribe, only one. Break law, you die.
Julie, I'll tell you what. From now on, if we have to skin a mammoth, you're the one in charge. Everything else, leave that to the rest of us.
It's okay. You can still hit things really hard at that sword of yours. I whisper that in his ear.
Julie looks all big eyed, and he's like, "There's mammoth at docks."
Maybe, maybe.
Oh, he looks excited. Go sharp and skinning axe. He goes down to the basement.
In my mind, though, I just have this picture of Sloth from the Goonies.
I was thinking more
Hey,
Catcher in
you
the Rye.
guys!
That's
I
that's
was so-
Road.
that's why I
Uh,
said, look at him.
I'm gonna go sit on the stairs where he can't come back up by himself.
Okay.
Uh, what time of day is it now?
Oh, it's probably about 8 o'clock at night. 9 o'clock at night.
All right. Are all you gentlemen ready to work our way down to the docks?
Might as well. We need some ale anyway.
I suppose so.
Ain't nothing here.
And red paint.
I will curiously ask Julia why red paint.
Build shrine.
Hey.
Shrine. Make offering.
I'll look over at Dorloff and say, if he starts a fire, that's your issue to deal with.
Hey, I'll piss on it and I'll put it out.
What are you doing?
So almost
Let's
like
head to the docks.
Charizarding.
Oh, Jesus.
I suppose we're heading down to the docks,
Okay.
wherever that is on this huge map.
All the way down towards the south.
You mean where the big dots going into the water are?
Well, to be
Even
fair,
even Julie could figure that one out.
by the time I scrolled down to the docks, I'd already said it.
Gotcha.
Like, where are the docks? By the water.
I suppose, do you guys want to go from the west end and work our way south? Because we don't really know where they're at on the docks. We just know they're at the docks.
Well, I as we're walking, I'm assuming we're talking.
Yeah. Sure.
So I'm going to say, well, it's mostly
Kelly, what is this right here?
Sorry, what?
What is this that I'm pinging on the map right here? Do you know?
That is Castle Waterdeep.
All right, that's the castle. Okay.
Back. There you go.
All right, thank you.
So as we're walking, I'm going to be like, well, perhaps we look at some of the busier keys and see how many elves are working in those areas. If we find one that's with a large majority of elves, I say we spread out a little and see what happens.
We could leave the elf alone.
Well, this is true, but he doesn't look like a dock worker to me. Does he look like a dock worker to you?
We could get some clothes and dress him up like a dock worker.
What do you
Okay.
say, elf?
As
Want to be
long
bait?
if this will speed this mess up so we can get this done, sure, let's do it.
All right. So I guess we continue down to the dock ward, and
Yep.
look around. Are there like I imagine if it's a dock ward, there's also like shops to replace like like back in the 19 or 1800 1900s they had like jeans all over the place and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Or
Uh,
we can just take some clothes off somebody's clothesline outside.
code of laws. I'm
I
not.
look over. I look over at Julie and say, "Please hand Droll off your comic book."
Jesus.
Julie says, "Left it back at the house."
Oh, I'm not rich enough to pay these fines yet. Um. Well, okay. If it's a port and there are dots all over the place, Killy, is there a shop that would be open like 24 hours just to kind of outfit people coming in by ship? I mean, there has to be.
There is a couple of different shops all over the place. If you're looking to see if there's a general shop where you could maybe buy some sailor's clothes, you could probably find one.
Yeah, that's what we should do.
Get them tailored to an elf.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I imagine they tailor to all kinds. So I guess let's find one of those shops.
Okay. As you're walking around the city looking for one of these shops, go ahead. You can either all make a perception check, or one of you can make a perception check with advantage.
I'll just make a regular one because
Yep. Everybody else kind of rolling. So,
yeah.
surprisingly enough, Julie manages to point out a clothes shop. He sees a couple of simple clothes hanging out close to uh, an odd street. That's actually its name here. I'll show it to you right now.
Yep,
It's called
right here.
Odd Street. Yep. That there's a shop over in that direction that looks like it sells maybe some general sailor's clothes on the cheap.
Good boy, lad. Good boy.
All right, I'll walk into the shop.
Inside, the shop is pretty simplistic. It looks more like a seaside shack than it really does a shop, but you do see a couple of simple clothes made for sailors. It promises there's a sign about stitch work for older clothes. Behind the sign, in the middle of it, looks like maybe eating some sort of uh, pastry, is a human man. He's got a big, nasty scar along his left cheek. He looks to be comparatively young, maybe in his early 30s, and has short brown hair. He looks up at you and he says, "You don't look like a normal folk. What you in the market for?"
Uh, I'm in the market for some fine sailor clothes. What do you got to offer?
Kind of gestures at the different clothes that are kind of hanging around. He says, "Feel free to try it on. Just, any tears, it's out of your pocket."
Okay, I will look at, instead of looking at what fits, I will look at the most expensive set of sailor clothes I could find and what's the cost on it.
Sure. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay.
You spy what you think might be the most expensive pair. It still looks comparatively cheap in this place. It looks like there's a pair of them being sold for about 80 silver.
Okay. I will take that set and go try it on, see if it fits.
It fits. It's a little loose, but it fits.
Okay. And then I'll kind of look around, see if there's anything else that's even more expensive. If not, I will walk up to him saying, "I think I'll take this set for 80 silver."
He stretches out his hand, waiting for the gold.
All right, and I'll hand him the 80 silver.
He takes it, looks at it for a minute, chews on one of them, bends, tries to bend it a little bit. It bends just a bit. Not satisfied, sticks it in the pouch. He says, "Good doing business with you."
All right, and I bow and thank you very much, and walk on out.
Oh, uh, as I'm assuming we're all standing in roughly the same area.
Mhm.
If you allow it. Um, you happen to know of any ships that need help offloading tonight, sir?
Like most of them are done.
Any left? Any big shipments coming in?
I don't know. Go check with the dock workers.
All right. Thank you.
Julie
Mhm.
says, where buy paint?
What kind of paint?
Red paint.
I got some red paint.
Show me. Julie says, all of a
He
sudden, like, kind of polite and interested.
He ducks behind a counter, kind of fishes around a little bit, and he pulls up a clearly opened, half-used paint bucket of red paint.
Is it like it's a bucket, so it's like loose in the bucket. It's not like got a cover on it and stuff.
Well, it's not got a cover on it. It's clearly been used. Those of you who are standing outside can actually see there's some red paint that kind of highlights the shop on top of it, and maybe there's some parts of the area that have been haphazardly painted over to stop some of the wear and
Right.
tear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Julie puts a gold piece on the counter and says, for paint.
Be my guest.
Takes the bucket.
Done.
Lad,
You now have half a bucket of red paint.
we need to give you a lesson in economics later.
Julie's like, I didn't steal it.
You
Wanted to, but trying to act nice.
You're certainly right. You didn't steal it. Someone would say someone stole something,
See,
but
you
you certainly didn't steal it.
See, normal want something, kill them and take it. This place gotta buy it. Kind of silly.
Fair enough. I'm gonna, as we're looking around, Kill. I'm gonna look for like a gaggle of dock workers.
For the most part, you can, as you're kind of walking about the dock ward, you don't see a whole lot of different dock warders, or at least a gaggle of them. There's a couple of groups of them, maybe two or three of them, very clearly drunk, that are kind of haphazardly stumbling through the streets at this hour.
I'm gonna approach one of the groups and be like, "Hey there."
Yeah? Look at this fella.
You,
What you need, dwarf?
you folks wouldn't know where an enterprising elf could get some work offloading a ship, do you?
What's this elf got? We don't. Damn foreigners stealing our jobs.
Well,
Piss off.
if you're gonna be like that, fine.
They just kind of walk around you and continue on.
About where are we now on the map, Kelly? I know we were on Odd Street. Are we like
I don't know.
this area?
Wherever you want to be.
All right. Well, let's say that took place right around here,
Mhm.
and I want to walk north. And since everyone wants me to kind of be alone, I'll just kind of walk this direction.
I
Okay.
will trail you from behind.
So I'm just kind of walking up through this way, just seeing what's going on.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing as he walks up north with Kay?
Oh, Julie's just following them with this bucket.
I'm gonna trail behind Kay.
Okay.
I'll pull up the rear, making sure he didn't lose his bucket of paint.
All right. You all just kind of continue your way up north along Dock Street. The street themselves seem to be emptying out at this point. There's the occasional traveler, but at this point, most houses are in the middle of kind of taking to rest, and the bulk of it seems to be that folks are kind of retreated into taverns and homes and are settling down for the night.
Are there any ships docked in this little area?
There's a couple of ships docked in the area, yeah.
Are there captains nearby?
There's a guard nearby.
You know what? I'll kind of walk by the guard and just kind of give him a kind of a nod and walk by him and see what kind of reaction I get from him.
Make a deception check with advantage. The guard's kind of standing post, keeping an eye on anything crazy. Look at you, nod, and you can walk right by them if you want.
Okay. I'll keep going by them because I'm just curious on if they stopped me because they knew I was an elf or anything.
Okay. As you walk on, the rest of you trailing behind them see as he kind of continues in on his own. If you're going to try to follow him, the guards will stop you and ask, "Papers?"
4?
They kind of look at each other, look at you, and they go, "No papers, no boarding."
We. Well, I'm not that close. K'd be the first one. Never mind.
Boarding for...
The Maiden's Fair.
So since it's really dark out, can I whip that piece of paper, the code legal out, and like try to wave it around as if that's my papers?
You can.
I'm gonna try and do that.
Okay. They're going to reach and try to grab it.
I mean, I'm not gonna do it sudden. I'm just... No, that's what I said. Since it's really dark out, can I like try to like
I
fake
mean,
them out about it?
if you're gonna try to pull out papers, they're gonna try to reach for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Firm.
Like, I want to do my best to make sure that it's hard for them to see.
Wait.
Okay.
Actually, I tell you what. If I'm, am I in earshot of that?
You're a little ways behind. In
But
fact, you
I'm
probably don't see this going on where
okay.
it
Never
is
mind
right
then.
now.
Never mind.
So you're pulling out the code legal, and you're trying to just kind of flash it in the air. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do my best to keep it out of their arm's reach and just be like, I have my papers right here, and just kind of like waving it around and do my best to just irritate them enough to let me go by.
Okay. As soon as you pull it out, one of the guards will stretch out his hand open, waiting for you to put it in his hand.
I'll just like put my arm out in front of his face and then wave it around somewhere, like, hey, I have my papers right here, see?
The other guard will attempt to snatch it from your hand. Go ahead and make either a dexterity saving throw or a strength saving throw.
Can I just use sleight of hand?
Sure.
Fuck!
Oh, god damn.
No! Shit.
They grab it out of your hand. They look at it. The guard goes, "This is just a copy of the code legal with some scribbled doodles drawn on it."
I quickly grab it and cast light in front of their faces and start sprinting past them.
Okay. If you're going to try to grab it back out of his hands, I need you to make another sleight of hand check. Okay, you grab it back out of their hands, you cast light right in front of them, which temporarily blinds them, and as you sprint right past them, at this point the rest of you see this, and as you sprint right past them, the light lasts for a brief second. You get maybe about 45 feet in front of them, and they cry out, "Oi, stop them!"
Stop
And
that.
they have...
Julie does the whole thing like the grandfather walking in the door in The Simpsons. He's like walking, and then he just like turns around, walks the other way.
Not to break cover. I just wholly act like nothing really happened. I just kind of look back and continue on walking.
While he was stopped, you're probably, if you want, you can get on top of the ship. But as you get past, what are you then trying to do? You're not taking it anymore. What are you?
Yeah.
Treverin.
I'm really just trying to make it convincing that I belong at the docks. You know, not that I'm doing anything. I'm just kind of looking around and seeing if there's, one, if the ships are there, if the captains are there, maybe approach them and ask them about possible work. Other than that, I'm just kind of nonchalantly, trying to fit in as much as a Feywild elf could fit in the regular realm.
Okay. As you kind of walk on top of the ship, there's a couple of... As you're kind of looking around, you hear this commotion, and you see Kay start sprinting past a couple of the guards, making his way, presumably, in your general direction.
I'm gonna do my best not to make sure I'm running at him, though. Like, I don't want him to know that we're connected. I'm just trying to lose the guards.
Okay. They are chasing after you as you make your way on top of the ship. where do you try to go?
So my game plan here is I'm gonna try and lose them. I want to lose them around the street corners before I get to the boat.
There's
I
a
don't-
game plan here.
I do have a game plan, actually. Yeah, I actually do have a game plan. I planned this all out when I realized they weren't gonna let me go by. So I want to cast Misty Visions because I have a Eldritch Invocation for it, and I'm gonna try and make them chase my vision
Okay.
and lose them around a corner.
Okay. Let me pull that up.
But by the way, while all this is going on and I see the mad dash, I turn
Here's that for you.
to Drayloff and Julie and be like, let's just wait here. Because as far as I know, the guards haven't given us a hard time. He's a good bit ahead. We just see running.
Yeah, you guys are hanging out on Dock Street, kind of off to the side, and you're just waiting. So as you create that silent image, it begins to kind of conjure up in the darkness. Go ahead and just make a general stealth check for me. Okay. And what is it you're directing that image to do?
So I want the image to keep running straight, and I'm gonna try and just like take a sharp corner around a building somewhere and see if they keep chasing the image.
You're on the top of a ship. You're out
No,
on
as
a
I
dock.
said, I want to do this before I got to the ship. Like as I'm running past them, I want to see if I can like dip around. Oh, like so I'm running toward the dock right now.
Yeah, like if you're just as a point of example, there's the docks right there. There's an example of some docks right there. So he would have made his way past the guard onto a ship.
Oh,
probably
okay.
out
Well
here.
then, I'll just do
If
this.
you're dashing past him, you're out in the middle of a dock here.
I'll just have it keep running straight, and I'm gonna see if I can book it onto one of the boats, and just kind of like duck and hide.
Okay. Okay. Here's what happens. As they kind of approach, they do see two of you kind of sprinting off. One of them is going to make its way towards the image. The other one is chasing you.
Okay.
Just 2 guards, Kelly.
At the moment, yes. Although they're crying out for backup. Okay, at the top of the ship, you can see there's a hatch that goes down into what you presume is the hull. There is what appears to be a door that leads into what you presume to be a captain's quarters. This looks to be maybe a simple merchant vessel.
I'm gonna try and slide down into the hole and see if I can jump into a barrel.
Okay, make another stealth check.
Probably a hard pass. Oh yeah, beat him.
All right. You jump into a barrel full of cheese.
Realizing it's cheese, I will quickly stuff my pockets.
It's Munster, and it smells.
Even better.
The guard descends down into this hole, spear drawn, and begins to look around. It pokes at some of the barrels, begins to open one of the lids. It becomes to come closer and closer and closer to your direction. And as it gets maybe about just shy of the barrel, you hear another voice go, "Oi! What's the problem here?" And you hear the guard go, "Sorry, sir. You believe a stowaway may have made its way onto your ship." "If a stowaway made his way onto my ship, you would have found him by now, wouldn't you?" "Well, we are in the process." "Get your hands out of my lock!" And at this point, you hear another voice, presumably the voice of the other guard, go, the other one was an illusion. It just disappeared at the end of the talk." It kind of looks at him, look at each other, and go, "Sorry, sir. Have a good night." You hear footsteps walking up out of the ship. Kay, from where you are, kind of on top of the ship, kind of haphazardly looking around, you watch as these two guards come back up from out of the hole, make their way back towards the docks.
You mean Treverin, right? Because Kay's actually the one hiding in the.
Yes, sorry, my
barrel.
bad.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
Okay, you're hiding in this barrel. You heard this third voice within the hole. You don't know who it is.
So, the captain, I guess, was still down in the hole, right? I mean, there's no one up here on top.
Not that you see.
Okay, I'll just kind of peek around and kind of walk back off the ship then, not knowing what's going on with Kay and not presumably trying to be associated with him at the moment.
Okay. As you descend off the ship, the guards will turn their way and they'll stop you. They'll go, "Boy, did you see that's a strange-looking individual in a hood make its way onto your ship?"
I didn't see him making his way on the ship. I saw it go straight off the pier. I thought he went swimming.
Sorry, sir. Move along. Good day.
Oh.
Good evening.
And I'll bow and just kind of continue on, and slowly make my way back over to kind of back towards Dock Street.
Okay. Kay, what are you doing in this barrel full of cheese?
I assume he's still on the boat, so I'm chilling in this fucking barrel.
Meanwhile, I'm
Mhm.
I'm gonna be sitting there. I'm sitting there with Julie and Drayloff, and being like, I don't know how well planned that really was, but I think we should stay here just to keep an eye out for our elf friend. What do you guys think?
I say we
Ha-
stay
ha-
here in case he yells for help.
have any other guards come to this area?
There's a couple of guards that have been stirred up, and then they're in the middle of talking with the two who are kind of keeping an eye on that particular ship. The rest of them are just starting to kind of keep an eye on the streets at this point.
All right, Julie's just going to take a look back down away from the water towards the city and just look down along the buildings and the blocks. Does anyone look like they're kind of paying attention to what the guards are doing? Maybe a little sneakily, like they're peeking out from around a corner. I know it's a long shot, but
You mean outside of K?
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
no, I'm thinking that if
No, I
someone's sneaking
gotcha.
around here trying to kill people, they might take an interest in what's going on.
I gotcha. I knew what you were doing.
I doubt I'm going to see anything with a 7, so okay.
You peer around for a little bit. Out of the corner of your eye, you think you see a brief shadow, but it ducks around a building before you can get a better look at it.
Julie will start running for where that was.
Okay.
I turn to the other dwarf and go, "Oh shite."
Let's follow him to keep him out of trouble.
And am I close enough to see them scurry off?
You see your companions making their way to some building that Julie is making his way to.
Okay. Um,
If you start chasing after Julie or run alongside him, he'll say, "Sneaky person, watching guards, snuck that way."
I'll wave Treverin on with us. I'll be like, "Come
okay.
on."
I'll kind of. I don't really know how to get a hold of Kay's attention, but think here.
He can catch up with us later. What the fuck
Okay.
was he doing running down the dock?
I'll you tell me. I don't know why he was following me anyway.
Kay, you're waiting a few minutes in this barrel, and while you're waiting, you hear, "Oh yeah, that's the good stuff."
I'm gonna call upon my unseen servant, and he's a rat, by the way, so I'm gonna have him scurry around, and I'm gonna use his vision to see what's going on outside this barrel.
Oh,
The the unseen servant, I don't think you can see through its eyes. That would be more.
Oh, sorry, that's the other one. You're right.
wait. Did you guys
Let me
Did you guys watch
go
Ren
ahead.
and Stimpy?
I'm familiar with the show.
All right.
Yes, you idiot!
No, there was an episode where they mistake fucking Ren as a fucking mouse. He's squeak, squeak. I tell you, squeak.
You're right. I'm thinking of the other pet.
Yeah, if you want to keep that one, or whatever, up to you. If you, I mean, you can still cast it, but yeah.
Well, I will just peek out of the barrel then as quietly as possible.
Okay, make a stealth check. He's got disadvantage because he's technically poisoned. There we go. Peeking outside of the barrel, it's kind of dark in here, but with your dark vision, you can see an individual with a kind of ripped up clothes and a torn cap that looks kind of like a captain's cap, is sitting in front of what appears to be some sort of table. He's got his back turned towards you, and his head's kind of sitting back in the chair, and he's just kind of moaning quietly to himself.
I will empty my pockets of cheese, and I will climb out of the barrel and try to take a peek around him and see what's on the table.
Sure, make another stealth check. I'm not going to even bother rolling. Just doing what you can to very quietly move around the hull of this ship. You see there is some sort of powdery substance laying on the table. In his hands is what appears to be maybe some sort of inhaler.
How do I want to do this?
You tell me. I
Hopefully
don't know what
not
the
the
fuck you're
same-
doing anymore.
Hopefully not the same way you were doing it getting you on the ship.
Do I recognize what it is that he's inhaling?
Go ahead and make an investigation check. It's snuff. An illegal snuff.
I'll leave him be. It's not worth my time.
Okay.
I will try to see if I can't find Treverin.
Okay. Going back to the rest of the party, Treverin, you're still kind of waiting. Are you following the group kind of around the alley, or are you?
Yeah, I saw them wave me up, so I'm hastily walking, but I'm not like sprinting. I'm kind of just keeping somewhat a low profile and heading that direction, keeping an eye out for Kay behind me to see if he pops up
Like
to
you've
let him
got
know where we're
s-
heading.
Like you've got somewhere to be.
Okay. Just kind of waiting around a few seconds to look around for Kay. You don't see him. So it's basically you can either sit there and try to wait for Kay and signal him, or you can follow the rest of the party.
Is the ground where I'm walking like really dirty? Like, is it like covered in dust where I could potentially just leave a mark?
Probably.
So what I'll do is I'll quickly on the ground with my boot carve in a K and just kind of put a arrow in the direction that we're heading and head off, and hopefully
Okay.
he'll see it as he goes by.
Okay. As the rest of you are ducking around a corner, Julie, go ahead and make a perception check for me. Nice. As you're walking around a corner, there's a few individuals who are kind of walking back and forth along the nearby street, but you do make out one figure with a cloak pulled over his head, very, very tightly hidden, and he is moving at what you think might be a brisker pace than the other folks walking alongside the road.
Does he look like he knows we're following him?
Make an insight check. You think so.
All right. I kind of point him out to the others without pointing. You know, you maybe nodding my head or something, and get after him. Not running after him, but trying to match his pace at minimum so that we don't lose him. Well, that's what Julie's doing, and he's hoping that you guys continue to follow him.
Well, as we're both dwarves, and you took off at kind of a rush, I imagine that if you're just by our natural movement speed, you're a good bit ahead of us. So we're just going to keep. I mean, I assume we're going to come around the corner, and we're going to see you like halfway up the block, and we're going to go, "Oh Jesus Christ, we gotta catch him!" I
Well,
will.
I'm not. Well, we're not, I'm moving, but at this point, now that I've got him in sight, or whoever it is, are they like taking a full move, Kelly? I mean, are they moving full 30 feet?
They're
Because
not.
that would be a
They're,
run, right? I mean
they're not. They're not into a great run. They're
yeah.
walking, but they're basically speed walking.
So you should at least be able to keep up with Julie, because
Those glutes look
he's not
fantastic.
sprinting. He's not sprinting either.
We move 25 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if,
but
if that's a full
You
sprint.
you can
that-
run. Yeah, that's a full sprint. 25 feet in a single turn would be you full on sprint 25 feet within a full turn.
Yeah.
He's briskly moving. He's moving. If you
Okay, I
counted
got you.
within a 6 second turn, maybe about 10 feet.
All right. I don't know what Dreylov's doing, but I'll keep following Julie.
I've been on Julie's heels the whole time.
Okay.
Trying to keep up with the big lummox.
As you're kind of following him, you watch as this individual sharply turns a corner. As you presumably continue to keep pace, you turn around looking at that same corner, and there's just darkness. You can't see past it.
Like it's darker in around the corner than everywhere else.
Yes.
As we approach, even with my
Dark vision.
vision,
You can't see through it. While this is going
Go ahead.
While this is going on, Kay, you snuck your way out of the barrel. Where are you going?
Okay, so I'm still trying to find Treverin on the boat.
You make your way kind of back up the boat. Treverin is not there.
I let out a long drawn sigh, and I'm just gonna casually walk up to one of the people and just be like, "Have you seen this elf?" I try to explain how he looks.
The guards who were looking for you earlier are still sitting over by the docks.
I'm not, but I'm on a boat though. I'm not.
Yes, but they're kind of cautiously keeping an eye out.
I'll do this then. I will take off my robe. I will stash it in my pack. I will make another misty vision. That looks like me with my cloak, and I'll have it casually, well, not casually, I'll have it, start walking down the dock towards the guards.
Okay. As you do that, the guards will turn around, and they'll hear, "Hey, you! Stop!" And they'll, with their spears still drawn, will make its way towards the image. What do you do when this happens?
I'm going to stick behind the image, far enough away that they can't really notice me, but, just out of spell's range. And then when the guards start approaching for it, I'm going to make the image start sprinting, and the moment they have their back to me, I'm going to sprint to keep up with them.
Okay, so let's say it's kind of in this dock. The guards are kind of hanging out in front of the ships. You're going to have the image approach them and sprint towards this end of the docks.
No. So back towards the entrance.
You have the image sprint back towards the entrance of the docks, and you're going to follow behind it.
I'm going to stay the max distance I can for the spell. I'm going to have the thing start walking towards them. As the guards approach it, and it starts feeling like we're, the distance that someone would feel threatened, it's going to break into a sprint past the guards. When the guards turn their back to me to follow the image, I'm going to start sprinting to keep up and stay in range of the spell, so I can maintain it.
Okay.
Until it's off the dock, and then I'm going to just break to the right somewhere or something like that.
Okay. In that case, as the image gets close enough, they're going to make a perception check to see if they realize it's an illusion. So they've fallen for this trick once before.
I do not want to throw Kay under the bus here, but is it a windy night?
It's a windy-ish night, yeah.
Does the man, even though he has no cheese in his pockets,
I said I emptied it. I said I emptied it before I got out of the barrel.
But you were in a barrel full of Munster cheese.
I did take off my cloak though. It's now in my backpack.
Yeah, but you're still kind of smelly.
And you did stuff it in your pockets.
He emptied his pockets. So
right,
what's your
but
spell
the
save?
smell will be
What's your
left over.
what's your spell save DC?
13.
Okay. They go chasing after it. Their backs are turned towards you.
Okay. I just start sprinting behind them and trying to keep pace with my image.
Okay. Yeah, they were investigated. All right, so you're keeping pace with your image. Where's you eventually directing your image to go? They have
It's
their
just-
spears drawn. They're calling for some of the other guards. You see a couple of people begin to kind of move towards the sides to clear the streets as the guards chase your image down the street.
It's just going to keep running straight, and I'm going to break right as soon as I can.
Okay. It's going to run straight. The second you have an opportunity to break right away from it, it continues on for about another 25, 30 feet, and it just vanishes. The guards stop, and they go, "Find him! Find the bastard!" And they begin to start circling around.
Okay. And I'm just going to try to stick around the crowd with my cape off and stuff, so.
Okay. Because you're a fallen, or kind of ASMR, are you?
Scourge.
Scourge. Okay. You kind of stand out.
Yeah, but they didn't see me without my hood.
They don't know what you look like without the
Yeah.
hood, and they're looking for a hooded figure, obviously. But you are getting a couple of glares from at least a few individuals who are still walking the streets this hour.
People that start approaching me, I'm just going to act like a missionary and act like I'm teaching Tethir.
Okay. Just go ahead and make a general deception check. They'll believe you. And most people will, as you kind of pull off this facade, will do what they can to just kind of keep their distance away from you.
Okay, and I'm just going to do that and start strolling down the street until I'm away from the guards.
Okay. Back to the rest of the party. You're peering at this corner alley into darkness that you cannot see past.
Julie's going to crouch down, try to get low, and stealthily move forward into the darkness. Because he's seen this before. His shaman was able to conjure up a darkness to confuse his tribe's foes occasionally. So he's going to try to be silent and move forward and trying, like feeling in front of him as he goes, but trying to keep low in case someone tries to strike at his head or upper body.
Okay. Are you trying to sneak your way through?
Yeah, I'm trying to be quiet and
Gotcha.
yeah, trying to be silent.
Okay. As you're silently making your way forward, go ahead and make a stealth check for me. All right. You're not super stealthy. You think you're stealthy, but you're not super stealthy. As you kind of make your way within this darkness, you cannot see anything around you. You can kind of feel the edges of the building as you make your way forward, and but you are effectively blinded as you kind of make your way in. The rest of you see him enter into the darkness and disappear.
I'm going to heft my warhammer and cautiously follow behind him.
Have I caught up to him yet, or am I still coming up?
You probably caught up to them at this point.
Okay. And with
Right.
my eyes of the dark, and since I have superior dark vision, do I see anything past that darkness?
I'm sorry, guys. Give me a minute. I gotta take a call.
No, take your time. By the way, man, I was not trying to throw you under the bus, but I'm like, here's a guy who reeks of cheese. I'm like, how the fuck is he getting away? I am curious though. What was the plan there?
I didn't want to leave him alone in case he was on a boat and that's where the people were looking for him. Like looking for elves.
Understood, but the murders happening in the alleys. They would have had to get past you.
You don't know that. They've been said that they most commonly occur in the alleys. We don't know if it's all in the alleys. And it could be a boat, like a mock boat that's like doing slave trading and shit, for all we know.
There is a lot we don't know.
Fair enough.
And I did not want to put Treverin in that kind of harm's way and have it turn out bad for him.
The only person that turned out bad for so far was
Was
you.
you.
I think it worked out great. Okay.
Yeah, now we got guards looking for you while we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Meanwhile, they can smell you coming from a block away.
You know, the more we're gonna see a bunch of wanted posters put up on all the walls. Have you seen this hooded figure?
Have you seen this man?
He is a person of interest.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah, because my plan was completely different. My plan was to find some elven workers that are on the boat and follow them to wherever we're going. That's what I was trying to do until your little escapade.
Oh, Lord. By the way, Pant, I do enjoy the barbarian playstyle that you're going through.
Well, it's tough because
Because,
I'm trying to balance. I'm trying to find that balance where he's not a moron, he's just completely culturally unaware.
Yeah. I think you're doing a pretty good job of it.
He talks like that because common is a new language to him. He'll I'm actually going to have him speak better as he gains levels. But yeah, and he's not a barbarian. He's a fighter. I don't want to play a barbarian.
okay, my
But
bad.
he's that's something that I've been thinking. I haven't been playing probably the best. That I'm not really playing him the way
well, no.
I'm playing him like a barbarian, but
Well, that doesn't mean anything because
he's
you
more
could be
more crafty than that. But it's weird. I have this image in my head of how this character is supposed to be, and I'm still kind of working it out.
You're trying to play more primal than really.
I mean,
Finesse.
fighters, even though they are tacticians, they still like to strike fear into the heart of people, and I think that's kind of what he does. Like,
Well, yeah,
I picture a Jack Sparrow in my head, where like he acts like an idiot, but he plans everything out in advance.
Okay. I'm sorry I had to take that. So somebody was asking a question and I completely missed it.
Yeah, so with my eyes of the dark being like 120 foot range dark vision, do I see anything past that darkness?
Nope.
Okay.
You see you see Rotund go in and Julie go in.
All right,
And
then. I mean, if they're already walking through, then I will make another shoe imprint on the ground of K and an arrow, and then proceed on in.
Okay. As you proceed on in, it's completely dark. Draloff, are you there? Unholy.
Yeah.
You see as 3 of the 4 compatriots that are with you make their way into this darkness that you cannot see through. What do you do?
Well, I have some torches in my backpack or in my pack. Would that help me see?
You can try.
What kind of roll and then make?
I can tell you that in the dockward here, there's not a whole lot of natural light because most of the street lamps have been kind of punched out and the candles stolen a long time ago. So if you want to try to light a torch and make your way into the darkness or hold it up against this darkness, you can try.
I'm gonna hold it up and see if it makes a dent in the dark.
Nope.
I guess I'll follow behind them slowly.
Okay.
Being in the darkness, do I sense that this darkness is magical?
Make an Arcana check.
Nope. Advantage still turn on.
What got the 17?
Yep.
You think it's magical darkness, yes.
Can I sense the direction that the source of the darkness may be coming from?
Right now, in the midst of the darkness, you have no idea.
Okay. I'll keep on moving through.
Okay. excuse me. Julie, as you eventually make your way through, you come out through the other side of the darkness, so your vision begins to kind of adjust within this dark alley, and it's kind of hard to see because you don't have dark vision. And as you're looking around, you don't see anything, just a dark alley.
It's not a dead end though. It keeps going.
It looks like it curves around another corner.
All right, he'll quickly move up to the corner and peek around.
Okay. As soon as you begin to make your way forward, the darkness that the rest of you are kind of feeling your way through immediately disappears.
Okay.
Now can I sense where that darkness was originated from?
Looking around, go ahead and just make a perception check.
Okay.
You see a shadow dart around the corner that Julie is making his way towards.
Okay, and I will quickly relay. I think he went around the corner. Julie, do you see him?
Oh, again, Julie's peeking around the corner. Does he see him?
As you make your way up to the corner and turn around, go ahead and make a perception check, Julie. Okay. At first, you don't see anything, and then you look in front of you, and your own battle senses, Julie, allow you to recognize within the dim of the moonlight, even within this dark alley, there is a shadow, and it's beginning to get smaller and smaller in front of you. And recognizing this, you look up, you see a figure covered in a cloak with some white hair kind of pouring out of it, hovering above you. It's at least 20 feet above you. Looks like he's rising to the rooftops.
Julie will start to climb, giving chase because
Okay.
he knows. Julie realizes trying to be surreptitious at this point is just ridiculous. So he's trying to. This is a chase now. He's gonna try to climbing to keep up with him.
Okay. At this point, I want everybody except K to roll initiative. Don't worry about clicking on tokens or anything. Just go ahead and just straight up roll initiative.
Looks like my initiative rolls carried over to this game.
I think I really need to invest in the alert feat.
Alrighty.
Sadly, I was thinking the same thing.
See, you all got jealous. I had that shit last game.
Well, last game I didn't need to have high initiative.
Well, that's what happens when you play characters that aren't too dexterous.
Let me grab a sheet of paper and just write it down because I'm not going to be able to easily add it into the turn order. Alright. Alright. Julie, as you see this creature and call out, the rest of you are kind of making your way around the corner. You can see this creature hovering at least 20 feet above. And
So the creature's in plain view of me now?
the creature is covered in a cloak and is in plain view of you. He was hovering 20 feet straight up. But he goes first. And as he's hovering up there, he turns in your direction. And you see him reach into his cloak, and he pulls out what looks like a pistol. He aims it in your direction, Graverin, and he'll fire.
And then I will reactionally face step.
That's a bonus action, not a reaction.
I can't use a bonus action as a reaction? I thought I could.
No.
Okay.
You reactionary.
All the same, he only rolled an 8.
Yeah.
So you hear this loud, and it hits right to the side of you as it kind of impacts into the brick. But there's this echo that makes its way throughout the entirety of the of this alley, and then you watch as this figure is going to, not moving any higher, it's just going to float an additional 30 feet down the alleyway away from you.
Okay.
All right, and then it's Drellof's turn. And by the way, Kay, you would have heard this shot.
I'll start calling out for Julie, Rotund, and Droloff, and Treverin.
You don't know where they are.
I know. I'm just like calling out for them because I'm just literally just yelling their names in the middle of the street. I start walking towards the noise.
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna follow Julie and climb up to see if I can get an advantage on the floating person.
Okay.
Well, has Julie started to climb yet, or does he have to wait until his turn?
Not your turn.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna climb that.
Okay. Go ahead and make an athletics check for me. You get maybe about 5 feet up off of the street. There's no real natural handholds to hold here, and you're not exactly the most dexterous individual. You can get a few feet up off the street level, but not by much. Anything else?
Nothing I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Next in the round then would be Treverin.
All right. First thing I'm gonna say, guards! I've been shot at. See if anyone can hear me real loud.
Okay.
And then aiming at him.
You ready this bolt? It goes kind of flying by him. It does not connect.
Let's see. I'm going to also move. Is there, like you said, we're in an alley, so is there like a fire escape or like ladder that would kind of make it easy to climb up? Or I'm not climbing up like a brick wall.
Go ahead and just make a general perception check. Because you're in the heat of the moment. Not that you see.
Okay. Well, then I'll just use my movement to kind of move closer to that corner to where we saw them moving up. So I'm still within range while he's trying to move 30 feet up.
Okay. All right.
Damn it.
Next up would be Rotund.
Bear with me here 1 second, Killy, because I'm trying to. As you were doing the turn, I was trying to figure out, is Bane one of my Fuck, give me a minute. I gotta find the right book. Hold on. Sorry.
Are you asking if Bane is one of your domain spells?
Yeah. I thought it was.
Yes. Bane and False Life are your two domain spells.
Hold on. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Apparently the way call isn't working tonight. I'm gonna click on this. Bear with me a second.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna do a goddamn thing to him. I don't have anything to hit him with. He's 30 feet in the air.
20. this moment, he is 20 feet in the air and probably about 40 feet away from you.
I'm going to close with him so I can get beneath him. So I'll do a dash action to get underneath of him.
Okay.
But other
All right.
than that, there's nothing really else I can do.
Okay. Next in the order then would be Julie.
He's 20 feet up, and he's still right above me. He hasn't started, or you said he started to move down the alley?
He started to move down the alley. Right now, he's probably 30 feet away from you because you were the closest one to him. 30 feet down the alley, 20 feet above you.
I will 30 feet down the alley and 20 feet above me. All right, I'm going to take a full 30 feet move to keep myself under him.
Gotcha.
And no, I don't know that I can attack him and be square with the guard. Nah, fuck it. I'll throw a hand axe at him.
All right, make an attack roll. That'll hit. Okay. And he'll have to make a Constitution saving throw, or to maintain the levitate. Still does. All right, he's still floating in the air, but you do watch as the hand axe kind of cuts alongside his cheek. And as he takes that hit, you see that the hood kind of falls off from the back of him from the impact as he kind of holds up. As the hood falls back, you recognize this is a dark elf.
Oh, evil bugger. All right. Side note: does Julie hear Kay calling for him?
Go ahead and make a perception check. You're too focused on the heat of the moment, and there's
All right.
still the sound of the shot ringing in your ears.
All right, then that's my action. I'm done.
Okay, we go back to the top of the round with the dark elf. There we go. All right. Upon hearing Treverin call for the guards, he is going to reach into his pouch and pull out what looks to be some sort of packet. He's going to very quickly stuff it in his pistol, and he's going to aim it in Treverin's direction and fire.
Okay.
Treverin, you're an elf. That was a
All right.
question.
Yes. Well, he's an Eladrin, but yes. As it kind of impacts into Treverin, it's going to explode, and it's actually going to hit. I think Rotund. I think you stayed back a little bit. Correct me if
No,
I'm wrong.
I ran
No.
up under him.
Okay, Drelloff is the one who stayed back.
Yeah.
So the three of you who ran up under him are all going to take, as this thing explodes. Oops. There we go. 5 points of fire damage. And he is going to move another 30 feet down the alley. And just to keep this simple, I'm just going to move to the battle map here. He's not there. Now you know what he is. are 17. All right. Kay's not quite there yet. Don't worry about moving yourselves too much here. I will say that you guys are all kind of right next to one another here. Draloff is kind of hanging out behind. Kay's not there yet. He's going to float again, another 30 feet down. Again, don't worry too much about moving. Just know that he's away, because I can't really draw this out on the map. Anyway, Draloff, you're up next. You're kind of 5 feet up hanging on this window. The culprit is now 60 feet away from the rest of you. Or from you, anyway, I should say.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump down since I can't climb
Mm-hmm.
and move up 25 feet and see if I can hit him with a javelin.
All right.
As soon as I find my damn javelin.
Okay. Because you can move a maximum of 25 feet, so he's going to be just out of the efficient range. Go ahead and roll that javelin one more time. That javelin attack one more time.
Okay.
You might be able to hit him, but it's going to be a little bit harder. You're not quite going to hit him, unfortunately.
All right.
So it goes sailing. It looks like it'll almost connect, and it falls just shy of his boots and kind of packs into the ground. All right, Treverin, you're up.
All right, so he is 20 feet off the ground and 60 feet in front of me, correct?
Yes. No, he's 30 feet in front of you. He was 60 feet in front of
Oh, okay.
Draloff.
All right, so he's 30 feet in front of me, but 20 feet in the air.
Yep.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I am first going to move up right underneath him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to face step on top of him and land on him and try to drive him down to the ground.
Okay. Go ahead and make an athletics check. Well, let me check something here, actually.
Oh shit.
You know what? I like this enough, so let's try this. All right. Your strength versus his strength. All right. He falls to the ground. You're on top of him.
Yep. And then I'm going to cast this.
All right. So you have him grappled. Just double check to make sure that how that affects his dex. Still make a dex saving throw as normal. All right. The two spectral blades, as you kind of cast that in front of his face, he manages to shift his dark elven face just enough that they impact into the tile next to him.
Okay.
Rotund, you're up next.
Is he within? Wait, where am I know we moved to the battle map, but
He is 30 feet. Well, yeah, he'd be about 30 feet away from you. Treverin is right on top of him. He has been pushed to the ground.
well, he. Alright, where am I going? Oh, okay, wait. Let me look here.
In fact,
Okay, no,
since you
I
would have
could.
been the one to push him down to the ground, he's going to take 2d6 falling damage.
I'm going to close, and
Okay.
I'm going to hit him with my warhammer.
All right. That'll hit. All right. You bludgeon him hard in the side. You hear him kind of cry out in pain. Julie, you're up next.
Shoot me with a fucking exploding pistol, you son of a bitch.
Julie will run up and not. I'll try to say to everyone, don't kill. Have to ask. Like, in other words, we gotta talk to this guy. He's a suspect. We need information. Julie's trying to somehow communicate that we shouldn't kill him.
Okay. Kay, you're making your way into the general direction of the noise. The guards who had already been alerted by you are also aware of this noise, and a couple of them are beginning to make their way in that same direction. What do you do?
I mean, I just still have my facade on it being a mercenary, but I'm still calling out for Julie and the guys, so I'm just gonna keep walking.
Okay, walking in the general direction. Have you this entire time been kind of just casually walking in the direction, or are you gunning it?
I'm just casually walking. I'm just kind of strong because I don't want to go into a sound I don't know what it is. So my guy's like making sure I have people that can get my back before I just run into noise. So I'm like just
All right.
walking.
All right, in that case, you're not there yet. The drow that you are kind of grappled to Treverin is going to subtly shift a scimitar out of its scabbard and attempt to very quickly, twice, stab it back at you.
Okay.
And it says short sword, but it's basically a scimitar here. 22 to hit.
Yep.
And let me just check something real quick. Oops. Okay. Same attack. That's what I wanted to make sure. All right. The first hit you for 8.
Yep. I'm down.
Okay. Alrighty. Once you're down, he's going to make another swing in Rotund's direction. And 12's not going to beat your AC.
No.
And then he is actually just going to run 30 feet away from the rest of you. He's starting to make his way towards the end of the alley. You guys can make attacks of opportunity against him if you wish.
Oh, I will.
And I'm just going to drag him up. 17 does not quite hit.
You know what? Hold on a second. That's the first time I got knocked unconscious, right?
Yeah.
I get to do this for the first time.
All right, let's see that charisma save. Yeah, you're up with 1 hit point.
Can you grapple as an opportunity attack?
Well, if you're using that, he's still grappled, so he doesn't get away.
Sorry,
You're
I
still-
just got thinking about it. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Julie's going to. All right. Well, never mind. It's not his turn.
In that case, he does not run away. You manage to resist. He thinks you're dead, so I'm still going to say the second attack's going to go against Rotund. But as he realizes your arms don't drop, he kind of curses underneath his breath, and it's stuck. Dreloff, you're up.
I guess I'm gonna run up and help Julie hold him down.
Right now, Treveran's the one holding him.
Oh, okay, because he said okay. I guess catch up and help restrain them.
Okay. All right. You kind of come in, you help try to restrain him. Treveran, you're still restraining him. What, if anything, do you do?
Since I'm restraining him, am I restraining with one arm or both arms, or am I sitting on him?
Presumably, you kind of tackled him to the ground and are restraining him at the moment with both arms. Roloff has kind of reached around his legs and is trying to hold him down at this point.
So can I free one arm and still keep him pinned to the ground?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
What would I have to run to see if I can kind of?
I will say he's not really pinned to the ground right now. You
Okay.
just kind of got your arms around him, trying to prevent him from moving. You haven't pinned him to the ground yet.
Okay. Well, then what I will do is grabbing his wrist with one arm to kind of keep him from trying to get away. I will take the quarterstaff in my other arm and smack him with it.
Okay. 10 does not hit.
Okay.
You kind of try to reach out, and he's kind of got an angle. He's shifting around, doing what he can to get away from you. And as you kind of try to reach even back for your quarterstaff to grab it, you're haphazardly trying to keep your hands on top of him. As you realize, as you try to reach back for it, he's almost shifting free, at least of your arms.
Okay.
Rotund, what do you do?
Okay. So, Treveran has been hurt.
Yes, badly.
Okay, 2 things. I'm going to attack the guy again.
Okay.
I should add because my hammer does bludgeoning damage. I'm not trying to kill him. I am
Sure.
trying to, just
Yeah.
disarm him.
The general rule of thumb is just declare it as non-lethal damage as you attack.
Gotcha. And didn't hit anyway. But I am going to cast Healing Word as a bonus action on Treverin. You only got 4 hit points back, but you're welcome.
Alrighty.
I didn't even see the roll. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Julie, what do you do?
Can you do that with any weapon? Say this is non-lethal damage.
More or less.
All right, fine. I want to knock him out with my greatsword.
Probably not a Vorpal sword.
Crack him over the head with the flat of my blade.
Probably not a Vorpal sword, but yes.
We can
All right.
pop him in the head with the handle of your
Yeah,
sword.
I'm gonna crack him over the head with my greatsword, trying to knock him out. Non-lethal damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, was he still grappled, Killy?
He's still grappled, but you don't get advantage,
Okay.
unfortunately. That's what I was checking to find out.
Yeah, I was
All
gonna
right.
say.
You take the blunt end of your greatsword and you hit him hard against the head. Go ahead and roll damage.
Actually,
Wow. Okay.
I was gonna
He's
ask.
not knocked unconscious, but he's badly bludgeoned. You can see a welt kind of forming on the top of his head.
I'll use my action surge and hit him again.
Okay. Okay, 24 hits. Another 10 points of damage. He's pretty badly hurt, but he's still standing.
Oh, okay. Fine. No bonus action or anything. I'm good.
All right. On his turn, he is going to use his action to try to escape. And he's going to have disadvantage because both Draloff and Treverin are kind of holding him down. No, he cannot escape. He is trying to wriggle his way out. He does not. Draloff, you're helping holding him down at the moment.
Let's see. I have. Can I tell Rotund to get the rope out of my bag and tie him up with it?
You can.
Yeah, I have some hemp and rope in my bag now. Rotund to try and tie him up while me and the elf hold him down.
In response, I'm gonna be, oh, hemping rope. I see you're one of those types of dwarves.
Just get the dom rope.
Can't do anything till my turn, but okay.
Yep. Treverin, what do you do?
I'm non-lethally going to crack him over the head with my quarterstaff again.
Okay. All right. Roll damage. That time around, you do find your quarterstaff, and you do manage to crack him hard against the head. All right, Rotund, what do you do?
Oh, I'll grab the rope out of his bag. That should probably be pretty much my action. I'm going to attempt to. I don't know if I can attempt to tie him in the same round.
Hang on. You can go ahead and just make a dex check for me, because you're going to try to tie him down while he's grappled, but he's still squirming.
That's not gonna go well.
So you'll have a reduced DC. Dex check, not dex save.
Oh, sorry, my bad. But trust me, it's not gonna go any better. Oh, okay.
While
It's not
Draloff,
going to go any better. He crits.
I hog tie him like I was in a goddamn rodeo.
all right. While Draloff is holding, well, let me tell you this. While they're holding him down, where do you start tying him down at?
Feet first.
Feet first? Okay. Draloff, as you're holding his feet, you tie the rope around his feet. Julie, what do you do?
Julie's at this point. He's tied up. We should be. If he's tied up,
He's not tied up yet.
all right. Well, Julie's going to wait until he's done being tied up, and then throw him over his shoulder, and we need to get out of here.
Okay, you hold your action.
Yeah, I'm holding my action. I don't know what I can't remember what it's called when I'm my specific trigger is
Ready.
right. He's done being tied up. I'm readying, throwing him over my shoulder. The trigger being he's finished being
Okay.
tied up.
At the start of his turn, taking his sword, while you're kind of tying him up, I gotta ask, Draloff, after he ties up the legs, are you still kind of holding onto his legs, or do you let go?
I think I'm gonna let go since his legs are already tied up.
Okay. He is, while his sword hand is still free, it's going to attempt to stab against you, Treverin. They did not mean to do that with advantage. Either way, that's going to hit.
Okay.
You take 7 points of piercing.
I'm back down.
Okay. He's going to use his second attack on the sword to attempt to slice through the rope. And that'll hit. The rope only has 2 hit points, so he slices clean through it. Now that he is no longer grappled, he is going to spend 30 feet attempting to run away from you.
Well, he has to stand up first.
He was never tackled to the ground.
Yeah, he was
Do we-
just on the ground. He was not
Do we get-
on the ground.
Do we
He
get
was never
opportunity
never
attacks?
knocked prone. He was only ever grappled.
Do
Yes,
we get
you can get
opportunity?
Yes, you
Oh,
can get opportunity
definitely
attacks.
going to take that.
Miss.
And again, this is
Non-lethal.
non-lethal.
That one hits. All right. You get him again with the blunt end of the sword really, really hard against the back. He almost stumbles, but he stumbles forward and keeps running. Rotund, you can get attack of opportunity against him as well if you wish.
I already rolled.
I'm sorry, Draloff, you can get attack of opportunity against him if you wish.
Oh yeah, hold on. Can I just bash him with my freaking shield? Is that an option?
It would be a push action, basically. It wouldn't do any damage. I can say if you wanted to, as a reaction, try to knock him prone, I'll let you do that.
Yeah, I'll try to do that. What do I need to hit?
Go ahead and roll. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw because he's already up and running. You go ahead. You can make either an athletics check or an acrobatics check, your choice. No, you try to push him down. He is faster than you anticipated. He runs ahead of you, and he's actually getting close to the end of the alley. As he gets to the end of the alley, he's going to use a bonus action and cry out, "Help! They're trying to kill me!" Draloff, you're up.
I'm gonna go run up to him, and non-lethally use my two-handed battle axe, like to swat at him like a baseball bat.
So, point of clarity, you're actually only going to be you're going to be a little bit far behind him. Disadvantage of being a dwarf, you got short legs. He's actually about 5 feet faster than you, so.
What kind of
So I'm
weapon?
able to-
What kind of weapon has everybody got? I'm just curious.
Julie's got a great sword.
I think I'm gonna throw my javelin in his legs to see if I can take him down that way.
Okay. 18 connects. All right. It sticks kind of out of his calf, and he grunts and stumbles a little bit, but he keeps at pace. Treverin, make a death saving throw for me. 1 success. Rotund, what do you do?
I cast Cure Wounds on Trevaring.
Okay.
And just so we're sure here, he actually gets all the highest dice he can if he's at 0 hit points.
Yep. So it should be 8 plus whatever your modifier is.
Yeah. So my
Which I'm guessing is
modifier
+2 or +3.
It's +2, I think. Yeah.
All right.
+2.
So
So he gets 10 hit points back.
10 hit points, ice for the grave bonus. All right, Trevarin, you're prone, but you're healed, and I've already helped with your hit points. Julie, you're up.
How far away is he?
Right now, he's 30 feet away from the rest of you.
Run up to him and I'm going to attack him. Again,
All right, go for it.
non-lethal.
Go for it.
Can I try tackling him?
You can. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
This one tough ass elf.
Yeah, should have used a great sword. Oh well.
Oops, that was supposed to be secret, but he crit fail, so I'll say that. You tackle him to the ground.
Oh, cool. Can I guess I have to wait till my next turn to grapple him? Or
Yeah,
does that
right now you're on top of him and he's knocked prone. He's not technically grappled. You just knocked him prone. Unless you want to grapple him, up to you. You can either knock him prone or you can grapple him. One of the two choices.
Oh, I see. No, I'll grapple then if I can.
Okay. You know what? Because he crit fail, I'll say you both grapple him and tackle him to the ground.
Oh, cool.
I'll give you that. All right, you tackle him to the ground. He's underneath of you. All right. At this point, there's a contingent of about 3 guards that make their way right out to where he was running, in the direction he was running. He says, and one of them stepping forward goes, "Halt in the name of the law!"
That drow there tried to hurt my elf friend.
Weapons down, hands where we can see him.
I drop my weapon.
Julie already had to drop his weapon to tackle him, so.
You
But
big fella.
he's not letting him go. He'll wait for the guards to come over and release him to the guards, but he's not letting him get away.
The guards with their spears drawn are going to push their way forward in your general direction, and they got their spears aimed at you. As they go, off of him, now! Hands where we can see him.
Guards, just be careful. He's got pistols and a rapier.
Yeah, Julie will roll off of him and say, he shoot at me, he hurt me, and show where the fire burned him, so the wound's still fresh, and at least there's some evidence that Julie's not being totally ridiculous by tackling him.
Okay.
Okay.
The drow will go, "I don't know what they're talking about. They just assaulted me in the middle of the alley, trying to kill me. Do you see these scars?" And he kind of points to the welt on his head and the cuts against his back. They say, "Arms down. Pass them forward. Stay here for questioning."
Officer, I would like to show you my friend here. He's working on the docks tonight, and as he was walking back home, we were to meet up with him. And look, I've already had to bring him back from the brink of death. Look at the wounds on him. He was being accosted by this drow elf.
One of the guards will raise their hand and say, "Wait for the sergeant to get here to proceed with questioning. You are to disarm yourselves and wait here under guard."
I turn around to Trevaring and just wink.
I'm still prone, right? So I'll kind of just slowly stand up and kind of dust myself off, give that guy a really look, and then sit down and start trying to dress my wounds.
Okay.
Julie will pick up his greatsword and walk over to the guard and just jam it into the ground in front of the guard and put his hand up as if to say, because that's what they want, right? They want to.
As you approach him with the greatsword, first off, a couple more guards are making their way to the scene. They have their spears right up against your neck as you get right up next to them, and then as you kind of slam it into the ground, they hesitate for a second, still kind of holding desperately onto the spears. and then you kind of step back and let go.
Yeah, and then he's gonna not go anywhere. Just look around. Is his hand axe within sight? The one that he threw.
It's a couple of feet behind you.
I will
He'll
kind
turn around and grab that.
Right now, it's already in possession of one of the guards.
Oh,
of
all right,
I will
fine.
kind of comment to the guards that notice how we put our weapons down, but the drow's not giving up his gun or his rapier yet.
The drow will take both of them and gently place them on the ground in front of the guard and hold his hands up.
And I'll kind of smile and just go back to dressing my wounds.
Julie
The
kind of looks
drow
over
looks
him.
over in your direction and sneers for a minute.
Julie looks over at him and goes, "Hey, I got you."
Oi! Keep quiet! Wait for the captain! Okay, at this point, as you're kind of casually making your way, you kind of turn the corner and you can see your compatriots are under heavy guard.
Guys, is that you?
You know this lot?
Yeah, they're my compatriots. We travel together. Actually just got a tavern in town. Bought it together.
What do you know of any incident that happened here?
Depends what happened here. And I'll start peeking around the guards, try and see what's going on.
You here. If you know these lot, wait here. You may be needed for questioning.
Can I at least ask what happened?
That's what we're going to find out.
Alright, I guess. And I'll just kind of hang around with the guards.
Okay. About 15 minutes pass, and at this point, those of you who are kind of waiting can actually see there's a griffin rider overhead that's kind of circling around the area, keeping an eye out. After a while, you see a man turn the corner, and he looks familiar. Taking off of his helmet and kind of holding it within his other arm, he goes, "You folk again. What are you doing here?"
I'm actually trying to figure out what happened with these guys, and I'll point to the other four in the other room, or in the other alley.
What did I tell you about keeping it to the guard?
We didn't do anything. I was just strolling around trying to figure out where they went after I lost them.
He steps forward in front of the guards. The guards kind of let him pass, and they go, "Right, you," he points to you, Julie, "start talking. What happened here?"
He points at the drow, shot him, points at Treverin. We fight back. He blow us up, and he shows
The
where he's
drow
all
goes,
burned.
"They were chasing me, my good sergeant."
He started it, says Julie.
The drow says, "I've done nothing wrong. They're simply assaulting me for what I am."
Julie puts his burnt arm in front of the guard. Here, smell. Smell what nothing wrong smells like.
The sergeant kind of steps back and goes, "Right, you then, you tell me what happened." He pointing at the drow. The drow says, "I was simply on my way home from a night out at the tavern when they started following me. I tried to turn a corner and lose them, but they started chasing after me. Unfortunately, it turned out to be my mistake. I used my own skills in an effort to try to defend myself, but they tried to pin me to the ground and kidnap me." "Why?" When he looks at the rest of you.
Not kidnap. Hold for guard.
"Why are you holding a random citizen for the guard?"
Because he attack us. That against law, no?
"According to his testimony, you attacked him."
Excuse me, Sergeant. Can I,
"Start talking, dwarf."
real fast, Killy, is this the guy that was at our inn earlier?
This is the guy who was with a bunch of the veteran guards when they went to find Raynar. He told you in
We ran
questioning
into
at
him at
the...
the warehouse.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So I don't really know who this guy is because I was like,
You were dead.
You were
You
dead.
don't know whom.
yeah, Sergeant. We recently came into owning the hold on, I just gotta pull up the goddamn name of the fucking what do you call it?
Roll in.
Troll Skull.
Troll Skull. We recently came into ownership of the Troll Skull Inn, and we are trying to get it back up on the ground. My compatriot behind me, who you can see is rather battered, was trying to get work on the dots to help, invest our or to help bankroll our ability to get the inn back on the ground or back up off the ground, in the black, as you would say. Anyway, as he was coming home, we were aware that there have been some odd stories coming from the dots. As he was coming home, he was accosted by this, I hesitate to say unnatural, but the man flew. He was accosted by this man, and then this gentleman discharged his firearm at all three of us. We only were looking out for the safety of our friend here on the ground.
The drow responds, "That is simply not true. I discharged my firearm in defense." Halt! He turns to the guard. He says, "This firearm, did you get it from the drow?" "Aye, sir."
I can't imagine that's too legal to be carrying around on these fair streets.
"It's a common weapon amongst the nobles." "You, drow, where did you get it?" "I happen to be well connected and have a good deal of coin." "With who?" "A gentleman never reveals his secrets, sir, but I assure you it is all perfectly legal." You folk, wait here for a moment." He pushes past the guards who still have their spears drawn, and he's going to approach UK. He says, "You, what's your involvement in all this, Fetty?"
I'm one of the compatriots they share the inn with. I was actually strolling with them as well. I got lost inside one of the crowds of people and was trying to find my way back to him. I heard a giant ring of a sound. I wasn't sure what it was. I was following it and yelling out for them. And here I am.
He says, "What were your compatriots doing at the docks?"
We actually were, just like you said, hoping to follow him to make sure he was okay and getting back safely.
"And why was he at the docks?"
He's helping down at the dock so he can help rebuild the tavern. We just recently got I forgot the name of the Troll Skull Tavern in town. Got it from one of our friends in the tavern. From what's the other tavern we came from?
Yawning Portal.
Yawning Portal. Yes, we got it from a friend in the Yawning Portal.
"Thank you. Wait here." He'll step forward, and he'll go, "You there, drow?" "Yes." "What were you doing here in the dock wards?" "As I said, I was simply enjoying myself in one of the local taverns. I made my way home, and then I was assaulted." Says, "The other weapon you're carrying, that scimitar, fine blade. The pistol, the blade, quite expensive. Loads of folk like you get it." The drow finally sighs and says, "If you must know, I'm a rare hire by a man named Zardar Zord." "I've heard the name. What of it?" "Well, he pays me to keep an eye out for any information that might pertain to any threats to his livelihood. I'm worried that these individuals might be allied with a more unscrupulous force against him."
Excuse me, sir.
So
Is
you
this-
were spying on us and trying to follow me.
Wait. Oh, hold on, Trevarin. This story just changes left to right. He doesn't speak. One minute, oh, I can't tell you who I am. Next minute, oh, I'm going to try to impress you with who I am. And now we're in a conspiracy against whoever he works for. This sounds like utter horse manure.
he kind of looks around. Go ahead and make a persuasion check there, Rotund. Kent?
He already made one.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. He looks around. He kind of nods in your direction. He says, "Well, you folk did help Rotund later, but I'm going to get absolutely down to the bottom of this before we let any of you lot go. I've got a friend who might be able to help us."
Well,
And he stretches out his hand, and he looks like he's signaling the Griffin rider who's kind of circling around. And the Griffin begins to descend. If I can find my characters here.
hey, Killy, what was the name that the drow elf said he was working for?
Zarda Zord.
All right, I'll murder that when I spell it, but that's fine.
As the woman descends down and hops off of the Griffin and removes her helmet, you can see she's a little on the age side, but still quite beautiful, maybe in her mid 40s, late 40s, possibly early 50s. She looks like she's very well trained and has a brilliant manner with this particular Griffin. Outside of character, those of you who are in the prior campaign will recognize this character as one Savra Elabranta, who was a former member of the Elemental Air Cult. But as she descends down off of this Griffin, she will move forward. She'll talk with the captain a little bit, and then she'll stretch out her hand. There's a bit of holy magic that begins to kind of emanate from it, and as it stretches out, I need all of you to make a charisma saving throw, except for UK.
I say, I'm way out there. I didn't. So. Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
Rotunda and Julie, you feel this overwhelming force compelling you to tell the truth. And the guard will point to you, Julie, and goes, "Right, one more time. Why were you chasing after this elf?"
Julie will say, now, see, I'm wondering how sly he can be with this spell. Does he have to be completely and totally
You,
honest, or can he say
No.
something
on
like,
a fail save, you cannot speak a deliberate lie.
But you can
"Oh,
still
all right,"
speak
but
around it.
that's right. I mean, I read the Wheel of Time. I can handle this. So Julie says, he shot him. We defended ourselves. He attacked first, which is
The
all true.
woman kind of peers closely. She looks over at the captain and nods. The captain will turn over towards the drow and he'll say, "One more time. What were you doing here?" "I was keeping an eye out for threats to my lord, Zada Zord." He looks over at the woman on the griffin, and she focuses a little, or who came off the griffin, I should say. She focuses a little. She looks over at the captain and nods. "You," he points to Rotund. "Is what he said true?" He points over to Julie. "Tell me in your own words why you were here."
I ran after my big friend, and everything happened just as he said it did.
He looks over, again, another nod. He kind of shakes his head and sighs, and then he'll turn over, kind of walk around you cautiously, make his way over to you, Treverin, and he'll say, let me see your wounds.
But you broke up. What did you say?
Let me see your wounds.
Oh, and I'll stand up, kind of dust myself off, and show him where the bullet hole was. I'll show him, the scratches and where I, was knocked unconscious, and show him where the rapier also punctured me.
I did do him a wee bit of healing.
He looks you over.
And I also kind of point at where the bullet holes are in the cobblestone around me. Like, here's where the shots hit after they went through me.
He will kind of take you aside for a minute, and he will whisper quietly as he can so the others don't hear. When you fought with this drow creature, did he attack you first?
Yes, he initiated combat, and I'll whisper back.
He'll quickly look over towards the griffin gal, who will nod her head, and he will walk forward, and he'll say, right, a lot of you, and he points to the four of you, you can have your weapons back. You'll be escorted by guard back to your place back to the Troll School Manor, and be kept under house watch for the remainder of the night. You are not to leave.
That's fine.
Julie just grunts and takes his hand axe and sword back.
That's fine. That's fine, but I have a question.
And I have one request on the way back.
What is that? Make it quick.
Our tavern is lacking of ale. Could we at least pick up some ale on the way back if we're going to be under house arrest all night?
Make a persuasion check. Oh, the guard may follow you to pick it up, but do not keep all night. We have business.
Understood. Thank you very much.
I would just like before we leave, and I'd like to turn to the elf and say, "And what be your name?"
The drow elf?
Yeah.
As you speak that, the guard captain goes, excellent question, Master Dwarf. What is your name, elf? Who will respond? Saloon Zibridus, if you must know. And he's looking kind of angry about this entire affair. That's how you spell it.
Oh, thank you.
Julie will sneer and point at him, stare him down, then just walk away. Start walking back towards the manor.
Right.
And for your benefit, this is the man he claims to serve.
I was actually not too far off on that. And I will walk back as well.
Okay. The guard captain will also will say, we're holding on to your weapons for now, but you are, he points to Drow, to be escorted back to the home of Zara Zord, and we are to question him. And the Drow will say, as you wish, Captain. And he is kept under guard as they escort him away. There is a contingent of at least 5 guards that are going to follow the rest of you for the remainder of the night.
Is the Griffin Rider lady still around? Has she flown off yet?
She's still on the ground at this moment.
I'll walk up to her, bow, and say, you might want to make sure that drow doesn't cause any more trouble. I just have a sneaking suspicion that things may go awry back at Zord's house or Zord's manor. and just kind of leave it at that. So I just got a creepy feeling about it.
She kind of looks off in your direction. She says, I'm familiar with you. I've heard about your story from Raynar, or at least some of his friends. My name is Savra Bellabranta. She stretches out a hand to shake yours.
And I extend my hand as well. Now that
She
they're
says,
gone.
proud member of the Waterdeep Griffin Cavalry and proud member of the Order of the Gauntlet. I have no reason to believe that anything you have just done tonight was in any sort of ill intent. That if you're going to do what you can to stop the fighting in the streets, it'd probably be best not to start it.
And I say that those are very wise words, and yeah, and we're definitely not here to start fights.
She says, if it's of any consideration, you'll gain better favor with other factions of Waterdeep, especially with the Order of the Gauntlet, if you can stop fights before they start.
Um,
You gonna say something?
no, I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting until we start
Oh,
walking away.
okay.
As you kind of collect yourselves, she says, if it's any consideration, there have been fights breaking out within the field ward north of here daily. If you stop a fight before it happens, you may gain some favor with the Order of the Gauntlet, and we may be able to return it.
I will bow and graciously thank him for the information. I will also comment that the griffin is extremely beautiful, and kind of give it a wink as well, knowing being from the Feywild and being around creatures and nature and stuff.
She says, I think Agra seems to like you. And she smiles, hops on the cavalry, bids you adieu, and begins to kind of fly off.
Rolling it.
The guard
Okay.
goes,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Rolling his eyes. Rotund is like, ugh, elves and their bestiality.
Good grief.
I'll walk back and as I'm going by Rotund, I'll kind of shut up, dwarf, and keep going.
Okay. The guard are escorting you, and at this point, you're kind of drawing the eyes of more than a few individuals as you're kind of being followed by the guards. And one of the guards will step forward and say, grab your drink where you want, but be quick about it.
Yep.
Um, as,
And
as we're walking back, I'd like to walk over to Kay and be like, what the fuck happened to you? You smelled the high heaven! Jesus Christ, man! I
I
thought
did
the
something I'm not too.
sewers smelled bad!
And by the way, Kay, you are not under guard.
Oh, I'm not.
No, you weren't part of the altercation, and you have your cloak off, so the guard don't know who you are or what you're up about. They're kind of keeping the other four under guard, though.
Are they actually in the manor? The guards?
Not right now. You guys are in the middle of an alleyway.
We're trying to buy ale. Take home.
Stop by at the yawning portal on the way back.
yep. And pick
Okay.
up a cask of ale, enough to get us through the night. I won't buy enough for the dwarves to get schlockered on, but enough to at least keep them quiet.
I hand you some gold to get enough to get us fucked up.
Then I'll remind he has to carry it back to the Trostful.
So, as you're making your way to the yawning portal, Kay, are you just kind of following your compatriots as they're under guard?
Yeah, I'm just kind of chilling around.
Okay. As you make your way back to the yawning portal, it's kind of late at night, but there's still a few patrons who are in the middle of just singing and dancing, alongside a bard who's playing a buddy song on a lute with only 3 strings. Bonnie kind of smiles at some of you as you walk in, and more importantly, off in the corner, Julie, you see Yagra kind of hail you, and she is playing cards with another individual. She kind of gestures behind her, and you see Davil Starsong hanging out by himself in the corner of a closed off table.
Um,
Does
I'm
it
at.
seem like? Sorry. Does it seem like she's indicating I should join him or her?
she's kind of hailing you to get your attention, and she's gesturing back towards him.
All right, Julie will go and join him at his table.
Okay, what do the rest of you do?
Well, I was going to. I'm sure the guards came into the young portal with us and kind of staying nearby. So
Mhm.
I was going
Well,
to.
the guards are actually staying outside, but they're kind of covering the exits.
Oh, okay. All right. Then they don't see Julie going over talking to him.
Not really.
Okay. I'll kind of let that go, and I'll stop at the bar and talk to Dernan about acquiring some drink to take back to the
I'm
Okay.
with
troll skull,
Triv.
and then I will look at Droloff and kind of point over and say, and kind of nod towards Julie as if get your butt over there and make sure you didn't cause any trouble.
Thought I was supposed to be your pack mule, but okay, I'll go
It
keep
will
an
be.
eye
I
on the
haven't
shop.
bought it yet. I'm saying you're carrying it back to Troll Skull, but I still have to get it first.
I'll go babysit Julie.
Okay. So, so Julia and Rotund are both making their way over towards where Davil Starsong is.
If that's
I,
where Julie is, yes.
yeah, Julie's over there, and I was sending Droloff over there. I don't know
Okay.
if Kev's character's going over there or
Let's
not. I'm just at the bar acquiring
yeah.
drink.
Let's make this easy. Here's your tokens. You're kind of entering in technically from the entrance, but go ahead and drag yourselves where you want to be. Davil is up here. And Yagra, you see, is over here, kind of playing cards.
I'm gonna go over here.
And Bonnie's probably out in the middle of somewhere serving drinks. Haven't really messed with this map in a while. Anyway. So, as you're kind of wandering about, Julie, you make your way over towards Davil, and Draloff, you come to join him. He's in the middle of nursing a drink. He looks up at you, Julie, and says, "Well, considering the guard presence that has circled uncomfortably around the inn, I take it things did not go well for you?
No.
What did you find, if anything?" And he looks over at you, Draloff.
Say that again.
He looks over at you and asks, "What did you find?"
Not much of anything.
You have no idea who started these attacks?
Well, we were accosted by a drow in the alleyway, but we don't know who put him up to it.
He looks over at you, Julie, for any sort of confirmation.
Julie nods, says, Dark Elf, Soloon.
He says,
Name was Soloon.
"And what was this dark elf doing in the middle of the dark ward at night?"
Sneaking about. We follow. He gets spook. Attack us. That's why guards. Sorry.
Well, how very disappointing. I'm afraid that with little information, I cannot afford you payment.
Julie just nods. He didn't expect to get paid for this, for what happened. But he says, Soloon work for. And he says the name Zardo Zord.
Zarda's sword? Tell me more.
Soloon tell guard he what did he say? Like, how did he put it? Like, he was watching over the docks for his for
Threats to his
Zardo's.
life.
Yeah.
Zarda Zord with a drow elf in his employ?
Julie just nods.
No, that is interesting information. This dark elf, did you fight him?
Julie nods.
What weapons did he have on his person?
Pistol and a saber.
A saber.
Okay.
Would you say the saber was a fine make?
Julie nods.
Interesting.
Guard thought sword good enough for noble. Had gun too, and packets that made fire.
It's a little more than a simple spy, it seems. A drow elf to boot. Did you
Hit.
notice any pattern in his attack?
Hit. Yeah. Julie nods. Says, gorilla, whatever the orc equivalent is.
Mm-hmm.
He said he actually uses the orc word for guerrilla fighter. Says hit, run, hit, run.
He says, it seemed like he was trying to escape, knowing he was outmatched. Tell me, how did he target you?
Julie just kind of shrugs, points his finger like a gun, and goes bang, and takes the like
he kind
he's
of
with the
double
sword, like,
shakes his head.
stab.
Davil says, did any of you suffer particularly grievous injuries?
The elf with us did.
Yeah.
The elf. That is interesting. Did it seem like he went specifically for the elf?
Yes, says Julie. I noticed that. He attack elf first. I remember I asked. Remember I asked if he was.
I know.
Julie says he attack elf first and often.
Well, it seems you know more than you seem to have let on. All it took was the proper questioning. I thank you for indulging me with this information, gentlemen, and I hope you can be more open to questions in the future. For now, take this along with my blessing. Don't show it to the guards on the way out. And he shifts you a bag full of 250 gold coins. 50 gold for each of you.
And Julie will take it. Just put it on his belt or whatever.
He says, we may have more work for you in the future, but I do hope you'll be more discreet next time.
Julie just kind of nods. We'll try. Not Julie Forte.
Obviously. All right. The rest of you making your way to the bar. Rotund and Treveran making their way to the bar. I'm missing my fifth K. Where are you?
I'm at the top by the fire.
Okay, you're just kind of hanging out by yourself.
Yeah, I was trying to get Bonnie's attention.
Oh, okay. Are you just trying to kind of flag her down?
Yep, I just like put my hand up when she strolls by so I can ask
Okay.
for a drink.
He says, what can I do for you, honey?
Long time no see. How you been?
Oh, it's been pretty quiet here, fortunately, since that damn troll. How have you been, dear?
I've been better. You probably smell me from there, I'm sure.
I figured I wouldn't ask. We get all sorts of strange folk around here, and it's not unusual for the unusual to happen. She kind of winks.
Can I ask you for a favor?
What would that be, dear?
Can you keep your eye on the ground for a Zardoz Zord?
Never heard of it. I'll keep my ear to the ground and see what I can find. Sure.
I appreciate it. Oh, and I toss her a gold coin, and I'll be like, give me something strong, please. I can barely withstand the smell as it is.
She yells out, Darren, one fire water ale! And she'll continue on to another table. The two of you who are at the bar while Dernan's mixing drinks, what do you do?
I'm gonna say to God damn it, Treveran. Treveran, come with me in a minute if this works out like I hope it will. And I'm gonna say to Durgan, Durgan, is there could we speak privately with you in the back room for a moment?
What's it about, mate?
It's something that I can't speak about out here. Too many years.
Says, kinda busy. And I can't help but notice there's some guards circling my joint.
I understand that, and I'll make it worth your while, and I'll put 2 gold down on the bar and be like, this is for the drinks for afterward, and this is for a moment of your time.
Make a persuasion check. He grabs a couple of ales, slams them down on the table, takes 2 gold, and he says, "Drink up, be on your way. Talk to me later
Any idea when I could come back and speak with you?
when you're not surrounded by a bunch of fucking guards."
Fair enough.
I'll look at Durnan as like, how much for a cask of ale to take back with us? And
30 gold.
I will put 30 gold in that with and underneath the gold is a note saying that we would like to ask him about Zornazad, or whatever his name was, later.
Zardoz Zord.
Thank you. I just keep thinking Zod from Star Superman with that name. And I'll put written on a note underneath the gold for him to read and tell him we're interested in information on him later.
Okay. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for me. Okay. He sees you do this, but he'll let it happen.
Okay.
He'll take the gold, take the note, kind of slip it into his pocket. He's not going to bother to read it right now. He'll have one of the other folks helping out here at the tavern go fetch a cask of ale for you and
Okay.
kind of bring it out on a cart.
And I'll wave over at Droloff and say, "Here it is. You get to carry it back."
I make my way to get my ale.
As you have this kind of cask of ale kind of carted out, from behind you comes a man who was drinking by himself a moment ago. He's a kind of rotund-looking man, but still seems to be well equipped. He's kind of dressed in nobleman's clothes. He looks like this.
Looks like a fat Three Musketeers.
And as he approaches you from the other side, he goes, "Well, somebody seems to be prepared for a night on the town."
I'll turn around and I'll say, "No, this is for night in," and I bid him adieu and turn back around to kind of finish the last parts of the discussion with Dornan.
He kind of hudders in, not giving you the opportunity. He says, "You're the lot that helped Reynard out, aren't you?"
Aye.
"Good to meet you. I'm a good friend of his. Name's Mert." And he stretches out his hand. "Name's Mert." I'm using the wrong accent. Stretches out his hand.
I'll stretch out my hand, but kind of hesitantly. Like, "Why are you bothering me?" type.
He kind of haphazardly shakes it, a little aggressively, in fact, friendly, and he says, "Reynard told me you might be looking for work."
I'll say, yeah, it's definitely something we could be looking at doing, but this is probably not the best time to discuss any potential work.
"Fair enough. If you're interested, I got a personal matter that could really use some assistance with."
Um, I'll suggest I'll say to Treverin, well, we have to go spend the night in our inn. Doesn't mean he can't come with us.
"I'd be happy to. You said you're having some trouble with some of the local guard?" Duran will kind of look over and he says, "Mert, if you could do something about it, it would be my pleasure." And
and I will kind of nod if he can make something happen, and we'll gladly discuss business, or we can discuss business back at Troll Skull.
wait here a moment, my friend. He will begin to wander outside.
I'll turn and look at I can't even remember your character's name at the moment. Rotund, thank you. And go, "I don't know about this."
Well, what's the worst that can happen?
We don't get to drink this ale we just bought. That's the worst that can happen.
Well, lad,
Julie,
it's a good thing ale don't go bad that easily.
what are you doing after talking to Davil? Are you just kind of sitting there, or what?
Yeah, I'm actually taking 30 gold out of that pouch. No. Yeah, I'm just actually kind of drinking a drink, and actually, I want to ask him about. He mentioned a particular tribal leader and offering me help. I want to engage him in conversation about that. Like, what did he? What kind of help did he have in mind?
He says, well, we have a means of being able to find out where your contact is. We haven't pinpointed him as of yet, and as you continue to aid us, preferably in a bit more discreet way, we may be able to help you out and deal with him discreetly as well. You, of course, will get to witness the action and partake if you so desire.
Julie nods and says,
And he keeps his voice down as he discusses this.
"Yeah," and Julie will as well, and just be like, "Julie help you, you help Julie. Yes, would like that very much." But he does say, "But discreet," and he kind of shakes his head, goes, "Not something I'm used to."
Give it time, my good man. But there's always room in the centaur for brutes, too. Such as yourself. As you guys are waiting at the, Kay, after you pass the message on to Bonnie, are you just sitting over there in the corner in the fireplace waiting for your compatriots?
I'm waiting for my drink.
Okay. Eventually she'll come over with your drink and pass it on to you.
Yeah, I'm just chilling here then.
Okay.
I,
While you
I know
three
you
are at the
haven't
bar.
updated the map in a while, but is Volo actually in the bar?
Yep.
Okay.
You spy him out of the corner of your eye. He's in the middle of talking with a couple compatriots. He doesn't notice you at the time being.
I kind of look over at Rotan and said, "See who's over there?"
I do. I don't. I don't know if we have time though. It depends on if these guards are going to get. I'm assuming the guards were waiting patiently, but at some point we're going to have to
Yep.
wheel our way out of here.
Tell me what you want to do. Do you want to go to Volo, or are you waiting patiently at the bar?
I will wait patiently at the bar, but I kind of nudge at Rotan in case he wants to go have a discussion with Volo, especially since he had some type of weird experience that I don't really believe he actually had earlier.
As we're waiting, I will wander up to Volo if I can.
Okay.
I assume he's here.
Yep, he's up in that northern room.
Uh,
He's got a couple of books spread out. He's in the middle of talking. As you kind of wander up, he goes, "Ah, hello, my friend. Are you enjoying your new home?"
Well, I have a few questions for you, real fast.
Of course, I have time for my favorite dwarf. What can a Volo do for you?
What exactly happened to Lif?
Oh, he simply died of old age.
It's funny. Usually, spirits of the deceased don't hang around just from dying of old age.
Spirits? Is afterlife is still in the house?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting. Has he hurt you in any way? I certainly hope not.
No. Actually, me and him
That's
have
a good.
worked out a little bit of a deal. But uh, you could have warned us before.
I assure you, I had no idea.
So I believe Volo.
Make an insight check. He genuinely had no idea.
Okay. Well, in the future, when you're paying off your debts with property, maybe you should actually inspect the premises first.
I assure you the property was in good value. In fact, I had another individual try to buy it off of me. He is a cheapskate.
Yeah, we heard something about that. Uh, what was his what was his uh God damn it. What was
He said,
he
what?
what was he offering and
It did not matter what he was offering. What mattered was that he has some shakier business deals with some scrupulous people. I do not want to be associated in any scrupulous deals or any scrupulous loans.
we are talking about Mr. Froon, right? Froon,
Of
however.
course, his family lost his business up in Neverwinter, and has since he is terrible at making business deals. Always in debt to somebody.
Is this someone we should be looking out for?
Only if you decide to start up at the tavern again.
Well, that's exactly what we were planning on doing.
He's a harmless person, but do try to avoid keeping too close. Or don't. As they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer, I suppose. Anyway, I suppose it's your problem now.
Sorry. Uh, yeah. Thanks for the heads up. I wish you would have told us before.
At this point, Mert's come in. He says, all right then, God's taken care of. They're off for the night. Thanks to yours truly. Now, about the job I have available.
Okay. We're
Tell
listening.
me, have you ever heard of Blue Alley?
Blue Alley. Can't say as I have.
Well, it was created years ago by a secretive and reclusive mage. It's apparently a dungeon in the middle of the streets full of tricks, traps, and all sorts of strange monsters. Nobody knows why it's there or who the mage is, but it's rumored that anybody who enters very rarely comes out, but is full of all sorts of treasure. Unfortunately, most of the treasure that's in there appears to be stolen by nobles. One such important piece was stolen from my collection, and I have reason to believe it's been stored somewhere within the alley. A small sculpture of mine called the Celestite Unicorn.
I will try. You're saying that this so-called Blue Alley is like a vault of stolen goods?
Apparently, stolen from hundreds of years ago. Again, it's been created by some mad mage.
And I'll kind of look at him, kind of stare at him. So I suppose you want us to go in and retrieve your item without retrieving all the other stuff?
Well, whatever you want to retrieve in there is entirely up to you. I won't judge for it. It's been created specifically for adventurers to wander in and grab things. I just want to make sure I get my piece back before somebody else has the opportunity to steal it. If you return it to me, I'm willing to pay you 250 gold. Whatever else you find in there is yours to keep, as
What?
far as I'm concerned.
What's so special about this statue of yours, if you don't mind me asking? Something that you're willing to pay me 250 gold to go get. Must have a backstory to it, if you don't mind sharing.
Make a persuasion check. He says, with some hesitation, it's... Well, why do you want to know about it?
Um,
I can tell you, it's simply a small sculpture of a unicorn.
What? I look at Treverin and go, well, what if there are more than one unicorns in there?
Well, I suppose you have a point, though I think this one's one of a kind. For what it's worth, it's a small sculpture no bigger than the palm of my hand. It's made out of ivory, and is white.
and I'll my ears will pop up when he says ivory. So you killed some type of elephant for this type of sculpture?
I'm not the one who made the sculpture.
Did you pay someone to make this sculpture for you?
It was a gift.
So I'll kind of look back and it's like, all right, well, how did the sculpture manage to get down in this blue alley?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how. Nobody knows how anything makes its way into the alley. Probably through magic.
To be clear, you don't know if it's actually in the alley.
Well, I received a small token indicating that it might be. And he kind of reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a token, which you see is a blue coin that depicts an alleyway.
I'll kind of look at it like, so you know the statue, or you presume the statue's in there. You say it's yours, but you have no idea how it got down there.
Correct!
There's definitely some Swiss cheese holes in your story, my friend. I think I might need a little bit more understanding. You know, you say people have gone down there and some have not returned. Where can we find more information about those type of adventurers?
He says, well, there's not too many that haven't ever returned. For what it's worth, I think there's a few patrons within the bar who have had previous adventures there.
And then I'll be so if you know people who've been in there and successfully retrieved stuff, why are you asking us to do it?
Because Raynar tells me you're a good bet, and I want to see what you can do.
So this is not really about getting the item. This is more of a test of our abilities.
It's a little bit of both.
So, well, that's at least an honest answer that I can accept.
Works for me.
So,
Durnan from the bar says, he's weird, but he's not going to hurt you. At least not deliberately. Thank you, Durnan.
and I will thank him for getting the guards off our back and explain to him that we plan to head back to our home, catch a little rest, and we could potentially venture out into the Blue Alley tomorrow if you could provide us a map.
He says, certainly. And he will unroll a small map of the northern ward and will point towards a direction right alongside the wall that separates the northern ward and the field ward.
Okay. As he takes that map, I'm gonna walk over or I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna look at Durgan. I'm gonna say, do you think you have time now that the guards aren't around?
Actually, you know what? It's the C ward. It's actually in. My bad. It's off towards the west somewhere. Anyway, as you kind of mentioned this to Durnan, he says, maybe. What do you want?
Well, I need to ask a question that I don't want everyone in this bar to overhear. To be fair, Killy, I am familiar with Durgan fairly well, right? I mean,
Yes, but Durnan's kind of a asshole.
That's okay.
So go ahead and just make another persuasion check with this time with advantage.
While he's still talking to Durnan, I'll look at our new friend. You said that there's traps and stuff potentially in this dungeon. Do you have any information on that? Any supplies or recommendations that we should have prepared? Because traps could mean lots of things. 100-foot not able to get out of pit. Requires a 101-foot rope. So any
Well, I've
information
never
you
been in
have,
there myself, man.
then how do
Maybe
you know
some
there's
healing
traps?
from the stories, man. The stories. It's always a changing place. No story's the same. I honestly don't know what to expect when you walk in there.
But there's the information I've been looking for. You said it always changes, so one person's story may not be accurate now because if it's a magical place and the place is changing. Thank you for providing that tidbit of information. That's what I was looking for.
You're welcome. And he kind of gives you an inquisitive eye, and suddenly has a much better opinion about you.
So,
While
I
this,
will go
while
ahead.
this is going on, Kay and Julie, what are you two doing? You see your compatriots talking now with this individual at the bottom.
I'm gonna stroll over and, out of curiosity's sake.
You
So
overhear
I'm-
the general conversation that's going on, and presumably your compatriots fill you in. Julie, what are you doing? Are you still sitting with Davil?
Yeah. He's no one's calling him over. We're just hanging out. He's having a drink. He's gonna fill Davil in on the manor. I don't know if we explain that to Davil, but that's where he's going to be staying, and chatting up about what kind of jobs he might have, things like that.
Sure. He'll tell you that he doesn't have anything at the moment, and after as you're kind of talking to him, go ahead and make an insight check.
And don't forget that there was a
Okay.
persuasion check for Dernan already rolled by.
Yep.
Ken.
So while you're talking to Dernan about this, he'll gesture towards Bonnie as she grabs some nearby drinks. Take a minute, will you? And he gestures to you, Rotund, towards the back.
Mhm. Right.
Into the kitchen.
Yeah. Okay.
Julie, while you're talking with Dabble, he's generally pretty quiet. He'll tell you that he doesn't have anything in at the moment. He'll tell you that he'll share with you that there's been an open gang war between the local thieves guild known as the Xanathar Guild, as well as certain branches of the Zentarum, and reiterate that his particular branch is one that wants to stop the violence. And he commends you on your strength, but reminds you that the goal here is to keep the blood off the streets.
Julie will fill him in on. I don't know if we filled him in on what went on when we were in the sewers. What we saw with the guy, the tentacles on his face, and so on.
He will share with you that he's familiar with the individual of whom you speak.
Yeah, I'm not
And
gonna explain necessarily what we were doing there or who we were working for. I'm gonna try to keep that to myself, but all the same, I'm gonna let him know that we did encounter the Xanathar Guild and kind of cleared out one of their sewer bases, if you will, headquarters, and that we encountered someone who looked like that, and they fled. Uh, we describe who it was that we fought. See if that's useful to him as far as information.
he'll make note of it and share with you. Yeah, it's probably a member of the Xanathar Guild. Sounds like maybe one of his higher up lieutenants from the Underdark. At this point, Yakra will kind of joined you, and you're in the midst of talking about your experiences there. They're just kind of retaining this information as you kind of share your story with them. Rotunda, as your other compatriots are talking with Mert, Durnan takes you back to the kitchen. He goes, "Right, the fuck do you want?"
All right. You're pretty even-handed with everybody who comes in here, and
I'd like to think so.
there's tons of factions in this town. So far, we've had unfortunate dealings with Xanatharians. We've uh, been accosted by drow elves, and we are doing a small job for the Zentarum. I don't trust the Zentarum as far as I can throw them.
Smart choice.
What do you? Sp- ah, how do I phrase it? This Devil Star song. Uh, what what do you know about him?
Former adventurer type. Pretty good on his feet. Really good with a loot. Bard, fancy fella. I
Do
don't
you,
make a habit of asking folks their stories.
well, do you happen to know he's working for the Zents?
Which ones?
Well, that's just the thing. He says a good version of the Zents who are trying to avoid trouble. I've never known a good version of a Zent.
I'm sure he has ulterior motives. I don't give a fuck.
Well, if you hear anything, could you perhaps warn us? I mean, we are all already going in with pretty blind into this situation.
Whatever.
Well, thanks a lot for your time.
That it?
That's it.
Good. Now get the fuck out of my kitchen. He'll
While
make
they
his way
were
back up
off
to the bar.
discussing that, I'll slide over and tell Droloff, you owe me 10 gold.
Hand him 10 gold.
Okay. He tells you owe him 10 gold. You hand him 10 gold.
Oh, him 10 gold, so I gotta give him 10 gold. Yeah.
Okay.
So then I point him to where the cask of ale is and kind of motion to everyone that I'm done with business here. If everyone else is done, let's head back.
Julio?
Mart says, wait, so are you gonna, do you accept? Are you gonna go find my missing statue?
I will kind of lean in and say, we'll take the job without it being too loud for everyone else to hear, just in case there's some prying ears nearby,
Mm-hmm.
and shake his hand.
Okay. He smiles, gives out a sort of a hearty laugh, and he says, I'll be here when you return with it. I'll be here when you return with it.
And I will just kind of bow and and roll my eyes on how loud he responded with that after I was so conveniently trying not to be bolsterous about taking the job.
Yeah, it seems like he's not really a quiet fella.
So
I will signal Julie.
Okay.
What, to come over?
Or like I'll point towards the door and say like, hey, we're leaving. Like we got enough information.
You
Julie
see your
just-
compatriots being signaling you, and you see Dreloff is kind of rolling a cask of ale.
Yeah, Julie will say to the two people, Yagra and Star Song, I'll keep in touch. And he gets up and goes, follows his friends out.
You all make your way out?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yippers.
You all make your way home?
Yep.
All right. You presumably then, unless is there anything before you head to bed? Is there anything you want to do? Any sort of discussion you want to have in private with one another at home?
I am taking a bath.
Well, before he does that, I will make sure everyone understands the new job that we're taking, because I know Julie was off talking, so I'll make to inform him with small words and big pictures drawn out of what we're going to be doing.
By the way, Julie, you still have a half-filled bucket of red paint
Yeah,
that you've been
and
holding onto this entire night.
I just imagine like
Yeah,
when you're
before-
trying to beat the shit out of that elf, you're like beat this shit out with a bucket of paint. Stay down, stop resisting.
I could have used it to paint them all red, but no, down here in this corner,
Mhm.
Julie's gonna paint a big red eye on the wall.
Like the letter I or the shape of an eye?
No, like an eye that you see with.
Okay.
Big eyeball.
Before
Gotcha.
Yeah, big right.
before Julie goes down there, I'm gonna ask Julie, did we get paid?
Oh yeah, he takes the bag. He takes out 50 gold and he leaves it on the table for you guys to do what you want with it.
I
Only
don't
50
think
gold.
that was the amount
200
that they agreed
gold?
on. Yeah.
No, but we didn't do job right, so he pay less.
Make a deception check. The rest of you make an insight check.
No, that was accurate. I'm not trying to deceive him.
He paid you the full amount.
Paid you 250 gold.
Yeah.
He paid 250 gold for 5 people. I took 50. left the 200 in a bag on the table for you guys to split
Oh,
however you
that's not what you
Oh.
said, though.
You said you left
He
50
said
gold
put
on the
50
table.
on the.
Yeah, you
No,
said you left
no.
50 on the table.
No, I thought about it, but I thought about trying to do something like that, but Drayloff was there and he knows how much I got.
Yeah.
So and since since you asked Julie in a with everyone around, I was gonna try to give Drayloff 100, me keep 100, and give you guys 30 each, but or 10 each rather. But since you caught him out when everyone was around, I guess he had to be straight up. So Julie takes the bag, takes out 50 gold, puts it on the table, and says, "For you," meaning all of them. Then he goes
50
to
gold
paint.
for each person, or are you just putting out? That's what I got to clear out because
Yeah,
it's not
50 gold
clear
for
in
each
that
person.
sentence.
There's
50 gold.
200. There's 250 gold in the bag.
Right.
Julie takes 50 and
You
leaves the
take
bag.
50 gold.
Yeah, leaves the bag with the
Gotcha.
remaining 200 on
Okay.
the table for them.
Okay. That's okay. Good. And then you go down and you paint your eyeball. So there's a bag of 200 gold on the table.
Right.
I'll
So I
take
take-
50 and head up to the bath.
And I'm gonna set up the keg while he's taking his bath.
right.
I take 50 out, and then I remind Droloff that Julie is his responsibility for the night, and then head on upstairs to my
Just for the
my
night.
bedroom.
Just for the night. Just keep an eye on him for tonight. We'll change up tomorrow.
When Julie heads downstairs, he tells everyone, look for big rats. If you find big rat, bring to Julie.
Um,
Then he goes
Oh.
downstairs. Then he goes downstairs to paint.
I'm gonna go up to this bedroom since it wasn't called by anyone,
Mm.
and I will call that bedroom.
Drill off. You're kind of just hanging out in the tap room, nursing a drink from the ale.
Yep.
All right. The ale tastes pretty good. As you drink, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw with advantage because you're a dwarf.
Constitution. The fuck is that?
All right. You're not even drunk. It tastes good, but you're nowhere close to drunk. Not even close. The night is young.
Yep. I'm gonna sit down on top of the hash to keep him in the basement.
Gotcha. Okay. The rest of you retreat into the bedrooms or the bathroom. Kay's taking a bath. Treverin, you retreat to your bedroom. What are you doing,
Yep.
if anything?
I'm gonna clean off a little spot here in the corner, and if we are settling for the night, I'm going to sit down to go into my trance and take a long rest and recover.
Rotund, what do you do?
I'm assuming that there is at least the ramshackles of a bed in here. I'm going to
Mhm.
go in. I'm going to put down my weapons in the corner and just kind of like make as comfortable of a bed as I can right now, and go to sleep.
Okay. Kay, you're in the middle of taking the bath. Julie, as you're kind of painting the red eye and finish up with that, what do you do?
Underneath the eye, he's going to set up like a small table. On it, he's going to put something.
Drayloff screams down, "No fire!"
No fire. Something to honor Groomsh.
Mhm.
Um, it's just something that makes him feel more comfortable and more at home. So just maybe some offerings, some little bowl with some blood in it, and what did he take the eye the eye stalk off of that thing he killed in the sewer and things like that. He just kind of arranges them on the table.
Gotcha. Okay. You're in the midst of that, doing your familiar rituals and prayers for strength. Droloff, you're just kind of drinking your way, sitting on top of this hatch. Are you basically just going to drink yourself to unconsciousness on that thing, or is
Yep.
there anything else? Gotcha. Kay, after your bath, what do you do, if anything?
I'm just gonna make sure my clothes clean, and then I'm gonna probably commune with my matron before I head off. But other than that, nothing much.
Okay. In the midst of your communion, your matron, will appear to you as a shadowy form, with wearing a mask, but the mask is smiling, and she says, "Well, my dear, you seem to have certainly had an eventful day."
And
How the hell do you smell like cheese?
yeah, can you still smell it? And I'll like lift up my armpit and like smell myself.
Please, dear, there's no need for that.
It's certainly been an eventful day, though, for sure. I just want to know if you have any information on a Zorda Zord by chance.
She says, "I'm afraid I know little about those individuals within the city without having a chance to see them through my follower's eyes. But based on what you've heard, and what I, by extension, have heard, he sounds like an interesting, well-connected fellow. Perhaps he knows more than he lets on.
Kind of my
This-
thought, too.
You might be able to learn a great deal if you find him."
I am still searching for a way to allow you into our plane, mistress, but in the meantime, I am doing my best to hone my skills and use your blade to the best.
That is all I request of you as of now. I believe the time will come when I will yet escape. For now, continue to talk with me. Wait. Hone your blade. Remember, I am always watching.
I
Through the
expect
good
nothing less.
and the bad. And whatever you do, don't die.
You have my word, and I bow before Riv.
As you kind of bow, as you raise your head, you're back in your room.
And I will head off to bed with that.
Okay. Over the course of the night, I'll say that you all have an undisturbed long rest within your home, and can gain all your spell slots and hit points back. It is-
Killy,
Mhm.
I will have changed out of my swashbuckler clothes and back into my normal garb.
All right, out of the
But
sailor garb. Gotcha.
yeah, but while I was in trance, unlike most elves, I actually had a nightmare and the Feywild, and I wake up and now I'm in winter.
Okay. In the course of your trance, you see the spectral image of wolves, and you see, um, well, it starts out as a nightmare involving panthers, but the panthers, at least we think they're panthers, but as you get closer, there's a cold sensation up your back, and you realize that the panthers are actually very ravenous-looking wolves, and they can begin to chase after you. As you duck around a corner and open up your head, you can see that the wolves have tackled your mother to the ground and have begun to tear away at her. You feel tears kind of streaming down your eyes, and as you kind of shoot up from your trance, you can still feel the cold tears streaming down your face. And you look down and you see that your skin is now, instead of the normal sort of copper auburn color, they are now much more pale and white.
Yep. And my hair is now white with blue streaks in it. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys kind of continue, kind of commune for breakfast, you obviously notice this change in Treveran.
Good Christ, boy, did you get struck by lightning?
No. And my demeanor is much more like serious than it was. Very short and to the point. Yeah, kind of gestures.
Okay. He's not as expressive as he was as you remember him. And his mood has shifted considerably, it seems.
Okay.
Drelloff, you awaken to the sound of banging underneath you.
I guess I gotta let him out.
Julie, you're able to eventually punch your way out of the basement.
I'll make my way to the kitchen.
Punch his way out.
bang your way out. Presumably, you'll have woken up. The one playing off is you wake up in the cellar and you're trying to make your way out, and you realize you can't open the hatch, so you start banging against it.
There's
Unless
a
for whatever
fat
reason
dwarf
you
on
choose
it.
not to do it.
No, I would love to get out of the basement. You're saying that the basement hatch is locked?
Oh, my
No,
fat
but
ass
the dwarf was sleeping on it.
No,
Drola fell asleep on top of it.
I can push him off, no problem.
Okay, you make your way back out. Are you all kind of eating breakfast in the tap room then?
Sounds
Yep.
great.
Okay. You collect yourselves. You eat some food. Morning otherwise goes by as unhinged. You can see outside it's a little windy. There's maybe a little bit of a light drizzle, but otherwise it seems relatively okay. What do you want to do?
Mm,
Well, as
I'll
far
chime
as
in. I think it's time to go to the Blue Alley.
why, says Julie.
We explained this last night.
Not to him, you didn't.
No,
Yeah, he did.
Julie has no
I said
idea.
that when we got back, I wrote down and drew pictures of what we're
Oh
going to do
yeah,
the
yeah,
next
right.
day.
Oh, right. I'm sorry, you're right.
Don't make me tell you again. And then I'll continue out the door.
All right. Trevor makes his way out the door, changed as he is.
I
Saying,
will follow.
Yeah, Julie will go.
okay. Are you all following him to Blue Alley?
I'm gonna lag behind a second.
All right.
He's going to talk to his ghost friend.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna say, Liv, can you hear me?
Just well, presuming that the rest of you have made your way outside, as you kind of call out his name, you see his form kind of materialize close by Rotund.
Liv, we're getting a head start on getting the bar going again. Do me a favor. We're starting to run into all kinds of characters. Can you keep an eye on the place while we're gone?
The spirit bows and then dematerializes.
Thanks, Liv. I think I'm gonna proceed out with them.
I have a feeling keeping an eye on the place is pretty much all that guy does.
Not necessarily.
Okay. You make your way out. As you make your way out, maneuvering your way out towards the west, eventually you come across winding your way through the streets is an alleyway made out of blue sodalite stone. The alley itself is 10 feet wide and has 20-foot sandstone walls. There's a tin sign on the wall in front of you with the words Blue Alley painted on it. A few feet in front of you, you see a gleaming blue sodalite stand, and atop of this podium lies a quill beside a heavy book bound in blue leather. Given the time, I think we should probably stop here.
That's fine.
So, we'll continue with the adventure of Blue Alley going forward.
Okay.
I will say that regarding this particular part, this is not something that's naturally part of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. This is actually an Adventurers League map that they would have done, I want to say at Dragon Con, I'm not sure, but it's designed to work in tandem with Waterdeep Dragon's Heist. So I've added all the details for the map and everything, and scaled it based on your level and all that good jazz here. And as you maneuver your way through, if you see a black letter D, that indicates that there's a door there, because the dynamic lighting doesn't, and the map itself doesn't really do a good job of highlighting where those are. I will say that I did not highlight any secret doors. So,
So if it says D, that's just a regular door.
Yep.
To be treated as such. Okay.
but given that it's already about 10:30 my time, I think we can probably put this off till next week.
That's
Sounds
fine.
like a deal. I'm gonna stab some kids next week then.
Good
Kill
stuff.
them and take their stuff.